on. You can't see me. Sorry, it takes a while for me to come in. Hello, everybody. How are you? Uh-oh. It's totally not. I don't. Wait, what? Did I press the button? Can you guys? Okay, I was like, can you guys comprehend me? Oh yeah, I was wondering why it was getting a lot like lighter during the day. I was like, wait a second, it's 6. Why is the sun coming up? I don't understand that. Oh, I disappeared. Hello. There we go. Okay. But yeah, daylight's. I thought they did get rid of it, or was that not this year? Is it next year? I thought they implemented that we weren't gonna be on daylight savings times, at least in America. I don't know if they're gonna do it in Canada. Wow. Wait, wait, Saib. Wait, I don't think I'm getting Saib. Uh, you do? Okay. It's just, it doesn't, I don't see it on OBS. So I was like, where's Saib? I can't see his audio. Is it desktop? Sorry, going through.
Your desktop.
Okay, try to say something?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I am waving in the chat. Wave.
Sorry, I've
I'm
had
here.
you muted. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
All right,
Sai.
I'm here. There we go.
Oh God, I was just like, oh God. Sorry, he was
So
talking.
yeah,
Sorry,
I've
everybody.
been raging for the past like 3 minutes and nobody heard me except for Reaver.
I'm sorry. When I was I guess when I was trying to change the OBS settings, for YouTube instead of Twitch, it messed up the desktop audio. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. That's my bad. But yeah, they're just saying that they were changing was it daylight savings time to something a way more complicated than it needed to be.
They weren't changing it. That's how they phrased it on the question on whether or not we wanted to vote it out.
Because
and the question was so confusing that nobody understood what it was asking.
That's typical.
Again,
Typical. I've heard they've been doing that with like some Texas laws, that they make it like very, like they use a lot of legalese in the documenting of it, that people are like, I don't know what this means, so I'm gonna vote against it, and then that's what they wanted. Right. They wanted you to vote against it. even though
Yeah,
technically it
no,
was
it's
good for the people.
because anytime there's anything, so so okay, the time change thing. I guarantee you that employs, depending on the state or province or country, that employs like a dozen to like probably hundreds of people in the bureaucracy who basically don't do anything other than just sit there and babysit that thing. And that's obviously the problem. The problem is obviously it's like, well, this the way that this works is to literally to drive up, essentially to drive up like work or jobs or whatever for the bureaucracy. And that's the kind of insanity that like we've been going with for so long.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying, but it's like, oh, what can you do about it?
Yeah, it's just hopefully at some point, I don't know, like there's people out there who like correct um like when it comes to like pushing these kinds of changes, there are people out there if was it if certain officials are was it putting legalese out there in bad faith, there are people out there who will correct them and say like, no, this is actually a good thing. They're just purposely making it difficult for you to understand because they don't want you to
Hmm.
vote for it. And yeah, that's the one thing I appreciate is that there are people out there who will, you know, point out that they're purposely doing this. But yeah, hopefully at some point we can actually get rid of daylight saving times because let's be honest, was it why did
The
they
guy who
implement it?
invented it, so the guy who invented it was a psychopath, and he wanted like his stamp on history forever to be remembered because every crazy person does this. Um, but yeah, it just boils down to he wanted to be famous, and there wasn't really like shocker. I don't know if you know this or not, but like for the past 10,000 years, we didn't really like bother with changing the time of the day in the seasons. We just followed the seasons and let natural circadian rhythm do the rest. Yeah, that's not what goes on anymore. So
Yeah,
dumb.
they're like saying
Uh,
something about like it helps with like the farmers or something, and
no,
I was like, what?
no, it doesn't. It was originally so it was originally like the rumor was there was originally to combat because they didn't want lights on in the evening during the war where bombers could like easily spot cities and stuff like that.
Mm.
uh, but it was also just a, hey, let's save money on like electricity by making people get up at different times of the day, but that the it doesn't change energy usage at all.
I know.
And it's
I was
just,
like, what? How does that make sense?
yeah, it's like I said, it is majorly like stupidly insane. And you just, and again, like I shake my head at it, I'm like this is just absolutely moronic.
Yeah, hopefully people will realize that we don't actually need this, and we should probably get rid of it because it's wasting everybody's time. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to jump into the kind of well, I can't say it's well, yeah, controversial story of these devs stealing other devs' games? I mean, technically, people stealing other people's, ideas isn't unheard of, but it seems like, someone totally ripped a game out from under another dev, like
Mm-hmm.
copied the code and everything, renamed it, pasted it on a different platform, I believe, and
Yeah,
then started selling
yeah,
it
it's a different
as a
platform.
yeah, and started selling it under a different name, but it's the exact same game.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
this is sadly something that is very, 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 very common in a lot of different places. Um, like not to the point where you're seeing it like, not like somebody's, duplicating, World of Warcraft, although Tencent China. Um, it's, or is it NetEase? I think it's NetEase who's doing. Excuse me. Good lord, I couldn't hit the mute button.
Oh, you're fine.
So yeah, so there's this has been going on for a long time. You like People clone apps, steal them, like slap a different coat of paint on it, throw it up. It's basically like this has been part and parcel of the digital landscape for a while. It's like, and I was just shocked that the console company in this case didn't do like a basic check. I I mean, it is like the landscape as far as video games go is pretty big, so it would be pretty hard. And they take it on face value that people applying aren't stupid, because again, this is like metric levels of stupid. It's
Yeah.
like, how is this person going to make money? Because I mean, when you really sit down and think about it, it's like this is it's like what happened with the Amaranth and the guys who were trying to steal her Bitcoin. It's like, yo,
Oh,
it's a
that story
public
was
ledger.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a public ledger. And the pure fact of the matter is like, as soon as people know, like, because it's a publicly viewable thing, it's like you're not getting away with that crime. You might get away with it for like a few weeks or maybe like a few months if you're really lucky. um you might be able to like do some switcheroo, cash cleaning type thing, where you burn like 90% of it to get like 10% of it out. um that stuff like that is possible, but I mean, you're literally setting fire to a giant pile of money in order to like get a tiny little bit of it out. And that's the most insane thing. Like that is one of the most insane things. And so this happens for Bitcoin. This happens for like, it I mean, I suppose it does happen for like insurance, properties, that kind of stuff. And as
Did you
long
hear
as you're
about
in a
that?
system.
Did you hear about that one story of like this one chick stealing this guy's like Bitcoin wallet, and like she like ensconced it with it? Sorry, I forgot
Yeah,
how do you properly say
ran
that one.
away with it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She like totally ditched with it, and they found her and she's arrested, but I don't know how they, like, the guy wants his Bitcoin wallet back, but she is the only one who has it, like has access to it right now.
Hmm,
And I'm
hmm.
like, how does she only have access? I don't know how Bitcoin works, but I was like, it's crazy because they detained her, but they're
So
still.
you have to have a password, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most Bitcoin wallets, if you use the incorrect password attempting to log in, like more than a set number of times, it locks it out, and then you just permanently lose access to the Bitcoin.
Ooh.
So she obviously changed the password and then is not willing to give him the password because she thinks that she can still get that money. Or she's like, well, I don't care if you get it or not. I just like I like, if I can't have it, then nobody can. And then
Ooh. Then it's
and
like,
then she just literally just like burns it essentially by just refusing to give him the password. But stuff like that is like, the laws are catching up, and um at some point I think they'll you'll be able to like take somebody to court and sue for access and whatnot, and then get access. I'm not sure exactly how, but yeah, I think it's a process that's been needing to happen properly for a long time now.
yeah, like, was it technology is advancing so fast that, I mean, the law system is so slow as it is, and then all this
Yeah.
technology crime going on, and then the laws are like, wait, there's technology crime, and it's like, yes, this has been going on for years.
Hmm.
Goodness gracious, but yeah, hopefully, I don't know. So, it seems like some lawmakers are more aware that technology crime is a problem, and there's like some laws already in place to stop it, but not all of it is caught up to current day crime with stealing
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin and stuff, and what to do with that. I don't know,
It's
but
like one of the weird things, and I know Austin had this problem for a while. Um, well, I mean, not just Austin, but that's the that's one particular place that I was keenly aware of what happened. So guy had his laptop, digital camera, and some other stuff stolen. This was like in the early 2000s. And he goes to the police department and he's like, here's my receipts. Here is the all of the code, like all of the there's identifying numbers on products, whatever the hell they're called. Um,
Like
here's
like the barcode.
yeah, like the ownership, like the code on the bottom of your computer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's my receipts. Here's my here's a printout of me registering the computer with the company that I bought it from. And here's the IP address that I was like, because he had to find my, essentially, like he had a program that was essentially find my phone back before that was a actual thing. And he's like, here's where they're logging in at it. Here's the address. And the cop looks at all of this stuff in front of him and goes, what do you want me to do with this? And they're like, get our stuff back. He's like, I can't. This is all like legal mumbo jumbo that I don't know anything about.
What?
They're like, they explain it to him like 4 times. It's like, they stole our stuff. Here's the proof that we own this stuff. And if you go there, you'll find the laptop with our, serial code. That's the word I was looking for. You'll find our serial barcode at the bottom. Like it's in the stuff. It's the exact same thing with a car. And he's like, well, cars are different than computers. There's computer stuff. It's like, why don't you, if you need your computer stuff, why don't you just
that is pure
jump your Mario over the turtle thing?
Jesus.
And he was just like, and they were just looking at him like,
that's just pure incompetence.
Are you insane?
Dude,
yeah.
Dude, literally, like, I think the cops that they were working with.
Back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, those specific cops, lucky. I think, because like they're like if you stole a lot of items that were worth a good amount of money, like depending on the cop, apparently, they would actually go after the person. If it was like a good couple $1,000s stolen, you would definitely get in trouble for that. So, yeah, that was just pure. They must have been a very older generation cops they were dealing with. They were
not always. I talked with, when streaming first started to kind of become a big deal, and this wasn't that long ago. This was like 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I contacted our local police department. I was like, hey, we're going to do some streaming and I don't want to like get swatted. What's your guys' process for doing that? And again, one of the biggest cities in the country, and the head of police goes, what's swatting? And I'm like, how do you not know about this? Like, how do you not know? But like, surely this must have like crossed your desk in a form of a memo at some point. And I explained it to him, and he's like, well, yeah, you don't want to call you don't want to call the emergency line unless you have a real emergency. It's like, I'm not the one who would be calling. It's like, but they're giving your address, so that like, that's an incorrect address. Like we would need and I'm like, you're not getting this. It's like people are doing this intentionally to mess with the police in the local city or to mess with a particular person. It's a false thing. It's a form of harassment. And he's like, well, you just tell the person to stop doing it. And it's like,
oh God,
oh my God, like, how are you this? You're the chief of police for like, a location that covers like, 3 million people. How are you this stupid? And then that's when I realized that, yeah, most public officials are, just idiots.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, but at any rate, no, shocked about this with Steam. It's honestly kind of shocking that.
I mean, I'd imagine like
it's not Steam's fault. Like they ripped the game from the guy from Steam, and then they moved it over to the PlayStation Network and the Nintendo Network.
And I don't think it's like a one. Well, I can't say it's not. Okay, so he did the dude or person, whatever, copied the game, but they did change the monster model, I think they said, and then they used like AI to an AI image for the cover, and then they changed the title name, but everything else is a 1-for-1 copy. So yeah, it's just
We're gonna start seeing this a lot more with like all kinds of different things, and I really am worried about like where our future is gonna be at with this kind of stuff because this is absolutely mental.
I don't know what you can do to fight back against stuff like that.
Well, so here's the first thing you do: release the game everywhere. That I know, shocking concept. Like, you mean release the game on the consoles and the PC and all this? Like how would we even do that? It's dumb. I'm being a little, obviously I'm a little facetious, but yeah, it's just the craziness of like yeah, no, that's like, yeah, makes sense. You definitely want to be doing something like that for that. So yeah.
It makes me worried because like there's a lot of indie games on itch.io
Mm-hmm.
that you can find on itch.io. You can also find them on Steam and stuff. But yeah, it makes me worried about independent, creators. Because obviously this guy was an independent creator and he made his own game. He was able to put his game on very big platforms, and then someone just goes and steals it.
Yeah, yoinks it.
And not only that, this I forgot what was the name of the company, or they went by the dev company that stole the games. Apparently, they've been doing this for years. They've been ripping other people's games off and then just like renaming it and then reselling it to like different platforms. And I forgot.
Oh, that I didn't hear. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Mm.
they've been doing it for a while now, and apparently, allegedly, the person who is like the head of this dev company that's stealing other games apparently is related to a government official in Russia, allegedly.
Oh, yeah, that would not surprise me at all.
So, yeah. So that's a thing that is linked to that. So that was, yeah, kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's like like I said, I don't know how you fight back against that. I'm not a programmer, so I wouldn't know if you like would have fail safes put in place for that. Unless that's like for the movies, and that's not how coding works. But I don't know. But yeah, be aware. Be aware. People can, I don't know, like you put your stuff out there in good faith, but sometimes people can be malicious out of nowhere and then just rip your stuff off. It's kind of BS, kind of bull.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And especially you hate to see it in the indie scene. I mean, I feel like the indie scene is the more like, was it would be the prime targets for this kind of stuff because they're indie and they're not like a big company that can there's no big company protecting them. But I don't know, it feels like it kind of sucks that this is happening to the indie scene because they've been they've garnered, I don't know, I feel like they have a lot more good faith going on right now compared to like AAA companies. So it's sad to see that this is happening.
Yeah. And I just like encourage any developers, like, get your game out to as many platforms as you can, because like it's better, obviously it's better too. And but it is weird, and I will definitely put some of the blame on the consoles, because there's zero reason why anybody should have been able to have gotten away with this. Like, they should have ways of like checking this. And I find it I find it really hard to believe that this company has done this so many times before, and there wasn't some kind of like, screaming pile of evidence or complaints or accusations of like,
I
IP
mean,
theft.
people can like start doing like mass reports on this. Not just on the game that they ripped off, but well, the game that they're fake reselling. They can
Hmm.
mass report it, and the other games that they've also, stolen. Not only they can do that, but I assume like also like sending emails to these big companies that they're selling the games under, and be like,
Hmm.
"Hey, this specific dev has been issuing out stolen games, like just mass reporting, sending them emails, say, "Hey, this dev this dev is not, you shouldn't be working with them because they are known for stealing games." Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, you would think that people, I feel like if we got the word out there more, like maybe people would do a lot, maybe, you know what I'm saying? I'm not drinking
Yeah.
enough caffeine, but yeah, like I think mass reporting would bring awareness to the issue, especially with these AAA companies or these, bigger developing companies. Sorry, publishing companies. You know, yeah. Because even though we would love if they were aware of these things and that they have, these, I was gonna say fail safes. They have these like fail safes in place to protect against like theft or anything. Obviously they don't, and it's up to the community to, point it out that like, hey, don't work with these guys. But to be perfectly honest, the to be perfectly honest, the video I watched about all this info and stuff, she said the name of the dev team, and I totally forgot what it was because I watched it like 3 or 4 days ago, and then all like a lot of other stuff was happening IRL, so I completely forgot what it was called. There's a YouTube video. I don't know. Let me see. Is she gonna say it in the description? Uh, and it appears that Reddit has mistaken Cool Devs and Midnight Works as being the same company. Switchstars confirmed that they are not the same company, just two separate companies doing the same type of thing and operating in the same place. The publishing scam half of this video is all about Midnight Works, but the directly stole this game is Cool Devs specifically. Okay, so apparently the dev team is called Cool Devs. I think she made a joke that it was a very like what a very original name, and I was like, yep, yeah, that sounds about right. They're called Cool Devs.
Oh,
Good,
isn't that so cool of them?
so cool. Goodness gracious. But yeah, be aware. Anyone somehow, you know, listening, who's a part of this whole situation, uh, be aware. Cool Devs, not a good company to be, or team to be working with.
Associated with, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they've stolen a lot of they stolen a lot of stuff and then redistributed it under their name. So yeah, be aware. Cool Devs. Uh, let's see. Oh, right. So there was a oh god, I don't know if I can I open this in a new tab? Oh, I can. Awesome. All right. Sorry. Let me move out of my way. Sorry, you can't see past my head. All right. So a tweet went out by the official Assassin's Creed account on Twitter, or X, and it says, "Fight for justice as a powerful samurai and as a deadly ninja in breathtaking feudal Japan." And if you look down here, it's been at the time of this screenshot was taken, it was, only, it was ratio to heck. It was retweeted 149 times. Uh, it got 126 likes, and it's been viewed over 300,000 times and only got 126 likes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I wonder if
oh,
that
Ubisoft.
traffic is real.
I wonder. And then with that knowledge, they're saying that pre-orders, they're now I don't know if this I heard that the pre-orders allegedly are in are 300 are like over 300,000. They have 300,000 pre-orders. And I'm like, okay, so let's actually look at those numbers. It has been, first of all, it has been proven that companies purposely fudge the information to make it seem better than it actually is. So is the 300,000 like actual pre-orders, or is it like $300,000 worth of pre-orders? Like what exactly is the 300,000 coming from? Where are they getting that? Even then, is it like, is it just 300,000, or is it actually 250,000, and but they kind of just bumped it up to 300,000 to make it a little bit better. You know what I mean? Sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
do stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, so there's 300,000 pre-orders, and then you actually have to take that number in. So if we're going off of what they're allegedly saying is 300,000 pre-orders, I'm like, okay, how much is 300,000 pre-orders exactly? How much revenue is that actually bringing in? Uh, let me hold on. Let me see how much are they wait, I think I have Steam pulled up. How much is are they selling Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Didn't they bump that one up to $100?
Isn't that wait, oh yeah, that's the pre-orders are like $100. Let's see. Oh, they said the pre-purchase is $70 for the base game.
Okay, so then
For
it's
the
still
deluxe
70.
for the deluxe edition, it's $90.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like $89.99. So what's 899? Get a calculator up here. All right, so 89.99 times 300,000. Wow, $26 million. $26 million. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. I wonder.
Wow. I wonder why they said 300,000 pre-orders and not $26 million. I wonder why
Now,
why did they
hold
say
on.
it
Didn't
like that?
hasn't the game cost them like a couple hundred million to make?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that's
Oh
not a good
no.
idea.
26 million isn't even enough to break even. Oh no. Wait,
Well, again, I
how
mean,
much is
it is pre-order, so hopefully people aren't pre-ordering a ton because you should never pre-order because pre-ordering is
it's
stupid.
kind of allegedly. How much did it cost to make Assassin's Creed Shadows? 125 million. Wait, okay, wait, what? Assassin's Creed gross, okay. In other territories, wait, what? Oh, it said Assassin's Creed, not. Ugh, I'm stupid. It said Assassin's Creed, not Assassin's Creed Shadows. Uh, oh no, oh no, this is worse numbers. How did it get from bad to even worse? How did that happen? Okay, I misread it as 125 million. Assassin's Creed Shadows was estimated to be between 250 million to 350 million to make, and has been in development since 2018. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that is so bad. That is not good. That is so bad. 26 million is nothing. Ugh. And I know everyone's like, oh,
Yep.
26 million is a lot of money. It is a lot of money to us, but to these giant corporations that rake in billions of dollars every year, 26 million is like 20 bucks. That's what it feels like. What they want is they want like billions. Okay, sorry, I'm being a
Yeah,
little
well,
facetious. I'm being a little yeah, I'm
they
being a little
want
too much.
around $1 billion. Yeah,
Yeah.
and and again, it just goes to show that there is a lot of tomfoolery going on, and it's like,
Cuz like you have people who make indie games for at the most 100 million. So it's like how are you making good indie games that like don't even cost that much to make but have really high-end graphics? But then you have Assassin's Creed Shadows that's over budget. It's like, and then they can't even, they over, I can only assume that they're overspending and overcharging people, or someone's overcharging somebody for their services because of all the controversy going on. Because like they can't even hire someone who's actually an expert in Japanese culture. They can't
oh
even.
no, they did. It's just the person was, obviously overstating their qualifications significantly
If you
by
if you told me
by
that Ubisoft doesn't do background checks, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't
it's
surprise.
it's what it's worse than everybody, because very few people remember that before they had the guy who got caught, like, he would write an article and then he would reference Wikipedia entries that was his own entries in Wikipedia, and then he would use his Wikipedia to quote the articles that he'd written, creating this feedback loop of he's basically rewriting history and getting it so that it's like, it's permanent in the mind of in the eyes of people.
And there's a video
So
out there
that,
of him actually sitting with a Japanese historian and him
yeah.
admitting that he came up with what his perspective of what Yasuke would do in that situation, and then she would say, and then the actual historical, Japanese lady who's a professional, she's like, "Oh, so you're writing historical fiction? You mean a fan
Mhm.
fiction of Yasuke? That's what this is." And he's
Yeah, but
like,
before him though, they had another Japanese expert on, and she, now I don't know about her qualifications to actually write about the content and stuff like that. I did know, and I was really disgusted by it. So much so that was when I decided to boycott the game and burn it to the ground as most effectively as I could. Is that lady was a fan of older men and much, 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 much younger boys in romantic relationships. Let's just say,
specifically older monks, uh, who took in, you know,
yeah,
younger,
we're not going to talk
yeah.
about that too much, but it's like, yeah,
And
that's
guess what's
that's
in
the
the
level.
game? Guess what's in the game, guys? You meet an old monk who has a young boy as his charge. I wonder what's gonna happen with that storyline. Yay. Oh god. Where are we at? Where are we at in this
Noah, get
hell?
the boat, get the boat, get the boat.
Oh god. Jesus.
I I do find that meme very funny. I do legitimately like that meme. It's a pretty funny one.
Brother,
Usually
get
it's
the
sad
flamer.
because
The
it's
heavy
so
flamer.
accurate and true. Yeah, but yeah,
Hi, Blunt
problems.
Man. Welcome in. But goodness gracious, it feels like, I don't know. Some people think that Ubisoft has a chance with Shadows, and I'm like, I don't think so. I feel like the reputation has tarnished their image so much that they're not going to make sales for this game. And even if they do make sales and be like, "Look guys, we made 26 million." We're going to laugh in their face because we know now it took way more than 26 million to make this game. So 26 million is nothing compared to what they spent and what they're losing to make this game. And then some people, was it? We were talking about their reputation before, about like, if it is about them, was it buying stocks and stuff? Like their purpose. Okay, so there's a theory, and I think Saib said you believe in this theory, Saib, right? Like you think that it might be kind of like this?
Oh, where they're intentionally tanking their stock so that they can buy it back cheaper.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're just being like totally dummy dumb, but that's just me. I don't know the inner workings of, I don't know the interpolitics of gaming companies. I've heard like a lot of, was it? I've heard of a lot of interplaying going on with like gaming companies and trying to sell their company to like a bigger company to for like the
Hmm.
highest bidder, and they're doing like these weird trade deals just to get like like a lot of millions out of. It's weird. Companies, corporate companies are weird. All right, they're trying to sell themselves out to telephone companies, and it's like telephone companies are buying gaming companies because they're trying to like widen their umbrella or some BS like that. I'm like, you're a telephone company. Why are you buying games? Why is this legal? It's called a monopoly, guys, but which are illegal. But no one wants to point it out. It's just me. Whatever. What do I know? I'm just a witch on the internet. Anyways, but like, uh, it could be that, but I feel like even if it was, I don't really believe that theory personally, because what Saib said that a certain family owned Ubisoft, but they're
Hmm.
purposely tanking. I don't know what the family's name is. Do you know the name?
I do. I have to look it up because it's French and
A Canadian who doesn't know French.
yeah, yeah. No, the Guillemont family.
Is it Gil? Is it Gilmont?
Guillemont family.
Gilmo?
It's Guillemot.
Oh, Gilmont. Okay, the Gilmont family that did that Belmont. Anyways, apparently they're purposely trying to tank the stocks in order to buy it back cheaper, and so that
Allegedly.
allegedly, so that the
Hmm.
Gilmont, I almost said Belmont, so the Gilmont the Gilmont family can have more control over the Ubisoft. It's not a conglomerate. Ubisoft, brand.
Hmm.
I don't know what that would do for them because I don't think they're actually passionate about games. So I know they know that Ubisoft makes a lot of money. I don't think they actually know what they're doing by doing this, but you know, rich people, rich people do rich people things. They see something expensive and they want to buy it. But
Hmm.
personally, I think Ubisoft's reputation has tanked so much that even if someone did get, like, they are purposely tanking it so that they can gain control, and they somehow release a
It's
good
actually in
game.
this. So this is actually in the Google generated AI stuff. It says potential buyout rumors. Tencent and Gaumont family have been rumored to be considered buying out Ubisoft. An activist investor has urged the board to consider taking Ubisoft private with Tencent as a significant shareholder.
Do you think
And
that they're purposely
these
tanking it so
articles
that
have
they
been
could sell?
floated around yeah, in December of last year. So
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, no, the more I see this, the more I hear this, the more I am convinced that the Gumont family is intentionally tanking the stock so that they can then buy it back for pennies on the dollar, and then they will, because if so actually that's a good question. Let me ask.
Because I
Net worth Guillemot family.
I'm trying to remember what I heard about companies buying other companies, specifically gaming companies. I'm trying to remember. Like they're trying to widen their umbrella to look like they're more financially,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say bloated. They're more financially, like there's more money coming in because they're taking all these different companies under their umbrella. Financially viable? Is that the right
Mm-hmm.
term?
Sort of, yeah.
Because this happened with the Warner Brothers gaming uh gaming thing. Like they were trying to,
Okay, I've got some numbers.
okay.
Asking, of course, this comes from Google AI. The
We
Guillemot
can
Brother Limited.
we can totally trust Google.
Yeah, the Guillemot Brothers Limited is a company founded by the Guillemot family, including Ubisoft co-founder Yves Guillemot, has a net worth of approximately $101.8 million. Sorry, not $1 million, £1,000,000 British. Sorry, not British. What is this? The EU dollar, that one.
Euros?
Um, yeah, and this was reported as of December 31st, 2023. Now, this is not so these numbers are of what is owned by the Guillemot Brother Limited, which is a company that they run that's separate of Ubisoft. So they have a separate company in which they have 101 billion, sorry, million, million EU dollars, USD. All right, so that's like $110 million. So right, so they're sitting on 110 million, and this is a separate company that's not Ubisoft. So you can factor in that they might like they're loaded. This is just the side company. So this isn't even their personal banking or how much money they have as a family. Who knows how much they've been paying themselves over the years. I can't seem to find any indication of what they're worth individually, but I'm going to assume that they have more than enough money. If they drop the stock down from what it used to be um, at its heyday, oh man, I'm going to look this up, and it's going to be sad. So in its heyday, you go back. So at its highest point, right? Its highest point, 2018, it was 99 euros a share, almost $100 a share. Actually, I think they went over 100. Yeah, they did. They did go over 100 a couple of times. The chart here just doesn't narrow in on that. So, yeah, 5 years. Yeah, so they were worth a lot of money, and then today they're worth 13.
Oh, oh no.
So from 100 euros a share down to 13. They've lost like 90% of their net worth, right?
Oh God.
Um, and again, it's just shocking. They bought in when they went public. They bought in at $2 a share, and probably a lot less than that because of family. So they bought in at around like $1 a share, essentially. Then they maxed out. They sold a lot of it, as I understand. They did dump a lot of their shares at a couple of points in history. One where it was worth about 25, $26 a share, or sorry, 30 some odd bucks a share. And then when it hit almost $100 a share, I've heard that they sold out a ton, and that from that time, they've just been getting people to invest in the company, and the worth has been going down and down and down. So
Hmm.
yeah, if they get back down, again, it's like if you get like a million shares and then you sell like 90% of them for anywhere between 100 and one and like what is it, like 8,000% more, then you take that and then you buy the stock back when it gets down to, you've just made so much money. This is like this is like this is a 25-year like hard scam. And I not I'm not saying it's a legal definition of a scam. It just looks like that because they had a big spike in the 2000s, and then it dropped, and then in 2008 they had another big spike, and then it dropped, and then they've had another big spike, and then it dropped, and then they had another big spike, and then it's dropped and it's tailed off to where it is now. And again, if each time you're increasing the number of shares that you can buy, you're selling them for like exorbitant prices, then you're buying them at a discount, then you pump the stock up, you sell again, it dips down again, you buy the dip, and then it goes into another spike, then you sell off during the spike, and then it goes down in the dip again, and you buy during the dip again. It's like you are making an absolute wreck ton of money. And the fact that they have a side company that's worth $100 million, and that's just a side company that they don't even really do that much with, as far as what I can see. They barely do anything. Like it's just a company that sits there. It doesn't really do anything. Oh man. Oh man. You would make so much money. This is so filthy if that's the case. And again, we have no idea because nobody is being honest with this stuff at all in the slightest, and it's just kind of like, right, that's super crazy insane.
Yeah. All all we can see is that it's a dance and a show, and we're just watching the stage burn, honestly.
At this point, basically.
Yeah. What a poop show. I don't know what yeah, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It just on the outside looking in, it just seems like they're very incompetent. And
Hmm.
that, we're just waiting for the company to collapse, and we're not surprised if they do. I'd be really surprised if they do make a comeback, honestly. I'd be very surprised. I'd be like, "Oh, Schnitzel, the rumors were right." They made a swift comeback. But I don't know, it's like at the risk of your reputation? Like really?
Doesn't Reputation doesn't matter if they come out. I can fix anybody's reputation. Like all you have to do is you just have to have the right like public thing. It's like when people panic when they mess
But
up
if
when
this
they
is this going to be a thing with them? Like are we supposed to be impressed like that they were able to cause an international almost an international incident? Are we supposed to just be like, "Oh, well, they make good games now." So, we're just supposed to ignore that now? Is like if they actually do make a comeback, we're just supposed to ignore that? Like I don't know. I feel like that's a weird reaction to have. Like they do all this was it not they do the opposite of goodwill. All these malicious stuff to a foreign country and like pretty much just mocking their culture at this point very blatantly in the guise of saying that no guys, we love Japan. It's like no, you're obviously well if you're saying it like that, you just obviously have like a lot of internal racism inside because god dang, like you are blatantly mocking these people and everyone can see that. And then they're like, oh guys, let's just forgive Ubisoft everything that they did because now they're actually making good games again. And it's like I don't that's a but then I'm one of the people who's like actually remembers things, and gamers are quick to forget and forgive and forget because they just want to play games. So I don't know.
yeah.
It just seems like a weird that'd be a weird 180 if that one, yeah, weird 180 if that happens. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Like, suddenly, oh, pushing out good games. Oh, everyone's like, oh, Ubisoft is great again, and totally ignoring all the BS that happened for the last 10 years. But yeah, let's just ignore everything. Goodness gracious. Everyone's quick to forget Cyberpunk 2077's launch. Why might as
Yes,
well
well,
might as well
they're not the
forget
only
the
ones.
Assassin's Creed Shadows incident. Let's just everyone for
All you have
if
to
that
do is
happens, if that happens. But it feels like
all you have to
gamers
do
are
is
just
look
so
at
so quick to forget certain things that was it like we're just dancing to the tune of corporations, and it just feels like
yes.
everyone
Well,
it
it's
just
EA. Like look at how many companies, how many studios, how many IPs has EA completely destroyed, and people still line up and buy their garbage. Like it's just horrifying.
that's
Like it's
true.
genuinely horrifying.
That's
And
fair.
that's where it's been at for like ever, right?
I mean, well, I like to think that there's actually a change going on because gamers are just getting sick and tired of it, and they realize if they want actual good games, they have to break away from AAA games because AAA games are starting to become just carbon copies of each other, and they're not even.
Mm-hmm.
And what's disappointing is that even if they do come out with like actual good mechanics that is kind of revolutionary, no one's going to give a crud because at this point, no one even trusts them to make decent games anymore. And if I forgot to mention, their writing sucks. Like the
Mm-hmm.
writing, the story, the characters all suck. Like the lore sucks. It has no origin. It has. Well, I can't say that. It has no actual effort put behind it. It is lacking
Yeah.
creativity. Like they just put out. They just slap things together and push it out as something revolutionary. When
I'll be
maybe
right back.
oh no, you're fine. They push out something that's maybe revolutionary one mechanic, but it's buried underneath a whole mountain of mediocrity. And I think that's the whole issue is that they always push out mediocrity. And they tell gamers, "You want mediocrity. This is what you want. Games are mediocre now. This is all you ever wanted." And it's like, "No, this is not what we always ever wanted." And I hate the gaslighting. I hate the consumer abuse because let's just call it out for what it is, consumer abuse. They just come out and abuse their customers and tell us what we want when it's like, no, we're the ones who's purchasing your products. We do not like your products, so we're not buying it. And then they're like, oh, you're horrible people. These poor devs. How dare you not buy the poopy products that as a multi-billion dollar company forced them to make. How dare you not buy the slob I forced out? How dare you, you, you disgusting customers, you horrible people. It's all your fault. Oh God, it's like really come off it, bro. Like come off it. We we didn't force you to make these games. We didn't force you to. You're like, "Oh, we're going to make games that people do not like." And even if they tell us that they do not like these games, we're going to tell them they're wrong and they will believe it somehow. And it's like it's Delulu worlds. They're living in a Delulu bubble. I don't understand how did it get to this point where they actually think that they can control what people want? Like what? Don't get me wrong, people have bought was it products that are absolutely absurd for the sake of the absurdity of it, you know? Like for example, like there was like I don't know, I saw it in a show once of I don't know if it's an actual product. It wouldn't surprise me if it is. But it's just oh, are you tired of tossing the salad? Now don't get your minds out of it. Are you tired? You like, oh, you're working your arm and tossing the salad. Oh God, that must hurt. Well, here's this new product where it just blends the salad together, and you just have to do it with a push of a button. It's a little absurd. You can literally just do it just by like putting a lid over the bowl and then just shaking it, and then you toss the salad. And it's like you didn't really need to buy a product to do that, but people sometimes buy products for the absurdity of it, and it happens. Does it mean that's what people want? No. That doesn't mean that's what people want. Like, I honestly think that these corporations think we're legitly dumb. Because I don't understand why they think that they can get away with pushing out mediocrity, and they think we're just going to accept it and nod and eat the slop and be like, "Oh, thank you AAA companies for feeding us slop. We're so grateful. Thank you, thank you." I think they legit think we're dumb. I it's getting to that point where I think they really do not think we have two brain cells.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I personally like tossing the salad.
I was drinking tea when you said that. I almost spit my tea everywhere.
This is why y'all listen. Quality content. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh God. But yeah, it's just I don't know how it got to this point where it just baffles me. Do they really think we're this dumb? I feel like they really think that we're just this dumb. Oh no, I'm disappearing again. Yeah, but they honestly think we're stupid, which is so hilarious because I feel like most gamers are actually pretty smart. Like I think wait, is there a statistic about that? Google.
About what?
Huh? About like was it in the intelligence of a gamer? How smart are gamers? Because was it there's a lot of well, it's inaccurate to generalize and say all gamers are smarter. I'm not saying they're smarter. I'm just saying they're relatively smart. They're not dumb. They're not like very low IQ is what I'm trying to say. You can have an average IQ and be a gamer.
No, I think they're largely smarter.
Well, Google says, well, it's inaccurate to generalize and say all gamers are smarter. Well, some games actually take a lot of, brain power in order to, figure out puzzles and to, do certain mechanics. Was it fast reaction speeds and stuff like that? Like, you need, like, a certain cognitive development for that. Here's a more detailed look at the topic. Cognitive benefits: improved memory and attention, enhanced problem solving, boosted spatial reasoning, faster reaction times, increased productive capabilities. Brain changes: increased hippocampus size. Long-term gamers have shown an increase in the size of their hippocampus, a brain region crucial for learning and memory. Enhanced brain connectivity. Some studies suggest that gaming can alter the brain's network that processes complex visual tasks, making it more efficient. Limitations, selection bias. Selection bias. It's important to note that gamers may already possess certain cognitive strengths that make them inclined to play games, so the observed cognitive improvements might not be solely due to gaming itself. Not a universal effect. The cognitive benefits of gaming are not guaranteed for everyone, and the extent of these benefits can vary depending on the type of game played and the individual's gaming habits. Okay, that's fair. Addiction risk. Excessive gaming can lead to addiction and negative consequences, and it's important to maintain a healthy balance between gaming and other activities. Okay, that's also fair. But I feel like gaming addiction... gaming addiction is like a small percentage of gamers if we're talking about if we're talking about consoles and PC. If we're talking about gaming on mobile, that in itself is, I think, a bigger topic, because the gaming industry on mobile like exploded. But everyone's always addicted to their phones nowadays. So I think that's a I think I'm mostly talking about like PC and console gamers. I'm not really talking about was it mobile gamers. Even though technically mobile gaming has gotten to the point where it's almost as lucrative as PC gaming, which is PC gaming is more lucrative than console gaming. So,
Yeah, no, it really is. I don't know. I don't know what idiot thinks that they have to release on PC.
I mean, you can literally sell your game on a mobile app. If it's like if it runs on mobile, you can just sell it yourself on a mobile app. And then like you don't even have to go through other third parties to do it. You can just do it yourself. Well, I say you can't go through third parties. Obviously, you have to like go through like the Google app in order to get your game on the Google app in order to sell your game. But you, what I'm saying is like you can do it yourself. You don't have to like rely on other publishers to try and get your game out there. Like mainly things are like done yourself nowadays. So it's like what's the point of even having like gaming publishers anyways? Because you can just do it yourself. Gaming companies are really struggling with relevancy, aren't they?
Some of them are, like a lot of them are, and then other ones like Larian are not because they're following through. What I mean, it's what Sven said. You know, I was doing the Tfater last night or the X scene. I don't know what you call it now.
The
The X
X
scene. So
the
I was
Xing
Xing about last night, which sounds like
is not what you
that
think.
sounds like that's an adult thing. Anyways, I was doing the Xing last night, and Sven was he highlighted. I think. Please don't kill me if I got this wrong. I think it was Stardew Valley. Somebody made a Stardew Valley mod where it's just there's a new town and it's just everyone from Baldur's Gate,
the
and they all have these like they all have like their custom little characters. A really good job by the way, like just genuinely like great pixel art character design.
hmm.
It's got their humor, it's got their writing. It's a pretty big mod. He put it out there and he said, "This looks so good. You did such a good job on this mod for a completely different game with our game stuff." If you did that about an Ubisoft game, or if you did that about a
Nintendo.
the no, well, yeah, if you did that about Nintendo, if you did that about a Take Two game, be prepared to get onslaughted by lawyers who will send you cease and desists after they send people to your house allegedly. You know,
There's no evidence of such things occurring. Apparently, no evidence of such things occurring.
oh, there's a lot of evidence for it. But it's that's the thing. It's like you have one gaming company who they look at somebody else's work. It's fan fiction, obviously, and they go, "This is amazing. This is really cool. We like this. You're doing a great job. So long as you're not breaking the laws by like selling it and whatever." Like 100%, so cool. In fact, if you're ever looking for a job, hit us up. Though you have
Wow.
those kinds of people, and then you have the idiot. I it's it's so hard to come up with like I try to like come up with like what is a word for these people that head up these other companies. Like imbecile, no, that's an insult to imbeciles. Um, the R word. No, that's an insult to people with handicaps and mental illnesses. Like monkeys, like no, that's an insult to actual monkeys. Like rats, like maybe, but then again, even some rats have more of a positive effect on society than these absolute idiots who are destroying the games industry, destroying their own industry, destroying their own products for what? It's so that they can look cool, of course. It's like ah,
It's like what I love. I
just
love
wow.
creators who embrace the fandom because
Yeah.
there's always like
And that's what Sven was
authors.
doing. Sven was doing.
Yeah, there's author. It's not just, in gaming, though gatekeeping in gaming when it comes to like fandom stuff. What I mean to say is when it comes to an IP, companies are very greedy with who is allowed to make like artwork of it and who isn't. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not going to go after every fan artist on the internet. Not with a lack of trying, honestly. Let's be honest here. If they could, they would. But they're like, you can. Obviously, there are people out there who make fan fictions of a certain IP, and everyone goes crazy. And then, ay, Dios mío. But what was that one incident that happened? There was a dad whose son died, and he was like 11, and he tried to like put Spider-Man on the kid's grave, but then
Mm-hmm.
Marvel,
Yep. Yep.
Marvel,
Shows
Marvel
up and
shows
and
up.
says, "No, you can't do that," and gets him to like, yeah, and bashes it off the tombstone. Like again, the people who do that, you're scum. You don't. You there's yeah, you're just scum. Yeah, and that's an insult to pawn scum because at least pawn scum has a purpose.
Yeah, because it's like there's a time and a place, and it's like you can't. Was it what when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail? Like you can't just going around swinging a hammer and hoping to hit a nail because you're just swinging it around and you're hitting people. Like you need to calm down, all right? Corporate companies, you need to calm down, all right? Because really you're gonna come up to a grieving dad and say, hey, you can't put our our licensed character on your dead son, your dead 11-year-old son's gravestone. That's copyright. Like, are you insane? Like, holy crud, are you insane? And then was it gaming companies acting like mafias, allegedly, sending out men, allegedly, to people's houses to intimidate them, allegedly, about like, wait, what was it? About modding, allegedly. Like, that's in.
If you're talking about the one case that we were involved with, it was just about reporting the news. That's it. It was just about reporting the news. There has been a whole bunch of other cases where they sent people after modders.
Like, it's just ridiculous. It's insanity, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Insanity. It's crazy. Like, some of the weird stuff I hear about the gaming industry blows my mind because it's like, what? Who blew your freaking head up to the point where you think that you can just go around doing this? Like, you make video games. Like, you're not in politics. You're not in the in Hollywood. You literally just make games for nerds. No offense to nerds, but you literally just make games for like nerds who have a passion for this stuff. What gives what like you acting like a mafia? Like what? Like what? Like that makes no sense. Like I can't link that to this because it's just so out of pocket, you know? Like it doesn't it you it's like they're not even doing anything illegal. They're not even doing anything illegal, dude. And they're just like rocking up allegedly with these hired men allegedly like intimidating people to take down a mod? A mod? What? Allegedly this never happened allegedly. Like this is insanity, bro. Insanity. They made like they oh god. Like holy crud, dude. Like it just baffles me so much. And like don't get me wrong, the whole like was it company insider trading, well, I say insider trading. I am not the smartest person when it comes to like corporate stuff. I just hear things on the internet. But like there's all this like trading and selling back and forth with each other, and then always trying to like do sleazy deals to get like the highest amount of money between each other, and they just don't give a crud. They don't give a crud about gamers, dude. They just care about making money. That's all they cared
Mm-hmm.
about. And then it's insanity. Insanity. And I think we need to definitely, companies need to look at Larian Studios as an example of how we need to step away from the corporate greed. Is that going to happen? No. Let's be honest here. No, that's not going to happen. This is billions of dollars we're talking about. You think people are going to give that up for the sake of the passion of art? No, people are greedy jerks, all right? But in a gentler, more nicer world, some people would want to take a step back from the corporate greed and all the money and stuff and actually focus on making art. Because these corporations are looking at it in the short term and not the long term. Sven is a good businessman because he's looking at it in the long term. He says he knows that if you breed goodwill in your customers and give them what they want and actually produce quality art in gaming, you will make money doing that. But these corporates, man, they're like, we could do that, but that's going to take too much time to do that. And we want money now because we can't wait. So we want money like now. So we're going to push stuff out and we're going to say it's good. People are going to believe us and we're lying through our teeth, but they don't know that. And they're going to be suckers and pre-order it. And then they're going to realize, oh, it's actually slop. Why did I spend money on this? But it'd be too late. We already stole their money from them. Allegedly, but at this point, it feels like stealing. It feels like stealing, doesn't it, guys? You spend all this money on crud games that aren't even worth it, but you can't even get your money back sometimes. I kind of feel like maybe Steam should, I can't even say that. Maybe like they could adjust the rules a little bit if it's like a AAA game. So like, hey, if it's a AAA game and you played it all the way through and you hated it, you can just totally refund the whole game. Because the refund rule on Steam is that if you play it for 2 hours, wait, was it over 2 hours or at least 2 hours? You need to have played it for at least 2 hours, and I think even then you have like a whole week to like, I think, refund it. So never mind. There's actually a lot of room. Never mind. There's actually a lot of room. Ignore what I was trying to say. But it's just ridiculous. They're all thinking about the short term. Was it get rich quick schemes? That's what this is. We're
Yep.
caught in a labyrinth of get rich quick schemes of the gaming industry, and it's all coming from the corporate side because all they can think about is money. And then then you have like a very small amount of people who actually care about quality of games. And they're actually making big bucks. They're like actually making money while corporates are scratching their heads wondering why they're losing money. Like, yeah, and they're looking at overall these indie developers and they're like, why are they making so much money? That's our money. And then they hire, allegedly, not proven, but in my opinion, they hire journalists to take out hit pieces on indie developers so that people don't buy their games. But that never works. They always end up actually, selling well because word of mouth is more reliable nowadays instead of gaming media. I don't know why corporates think that using journalists is actually, a good option, because gamers don't like gaming journalists anymore and they actually stopped using them a couple of years ago. Very few people actually listen to gaming journalists now. I don't know. It's a mystery. Maybe because they're so out of touch with their customer base and they chose to not listen to any type of criticism. In fact, they do their best to silence criticism. So it's like, how would they know what gamers really want? Because it never reaches the top, anyways. So, what are we talking about again? Wait, whoa. I literally. Wait, what were we talking about? I just got into a huge spiel about that.
Yep, yep. About just the way that the industry is,
Yeah.
because it's
Speaking
we're
of
at that point. Hmm.
companies buying and selling things, apparently Tencent acquired additional shares in From Software, a parent company, it says.
Hmm.
Tencent has increased its stake in From Software's parent company, uh, Kadokawa, by 1.11%. Uh, it says bringing its shareholding up to something. Let me see. Let me bring up the article and actually give you the bringing its total shareholding ratio to 7.97%. That's a lot. I mean, it sounds like a small percentage, but that's actually a lot of money. Uh, as reported by Nikkei, Tencent said it had increased its share, quote, as part of a capital business alliance between the submitter and the issuer, unquote. It brings Tencent's share of Kadokawa to within 2 points of Sony's, which increased its shares to 10% last December. That's a lot of money, making it From Software's parent company's biggest shareholder. At the time, Kadokawa announced a, quote, strategic capital and business alliance agreement, unquote, which saw Sony acquire more than 12 million new shares in Kadokawa on January 7, 2025, for around 50 billion yen, or $318 million. Goodness gracious. Talk about shareholders, am I right?
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's so frustrating. Yeah, yeah, it's really frustrating.
And we're all like, we hear about the shareholders, and it's like, we never ask who. Who are these shareholders? Because I think if we actually take a look at who the actual shareholders are, maybe things would start to make sense. You know? They're like, because like, gaming companies always try to like, sanitize their games, be as non-intrusive or non offensive as possible. And it's like, okay, what's all this corporate BSery going on? And then if you look at the shareholders, they're all corporations that are funding this project. So it's like, oh, that makes sense. Allegedly, I don't really know. This is my thoughts. I don't know who the shareholders of every company is. I am not privy to that information because I don't pay attention to that. Because I am interested only in yaoi. So yeah, yaoi is more interesting than that. So
Yeah.
uh, moving on.
We're
Uh,
we're we're quite we're quite the pair. I like Yuri, you like Yaoi.
oh my
It's good.
god. The Arnold Schwarzenegger's meme, the arm one, where it's just like Yuri Yaoi coming together.
Yeah, it's well, I guess I sort of write it, but yeah, it's not it's not it's not quite that way, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean, we understand. We understand. We get it. You get it. You get
yeah.
it. Yeah. Like, do you know? Have you ever run into people be like, "Wow, I can't believe you're sexualizing gay people"? I ran into that. I ran into one person on the internet who was saying that. I was like, "What? How could you say that? That's not. I mean, yes, but no. Yes, but no. I sexualize fictional characters. If you're IRL gay, like, all to you. You go out there, live your life. I support you. I'm an ally, as they say. But then, if it's a fictional gay character, then yeah, um, fan fiction exists. Fan fiction exists.
In fan fiction, it's one of those things that's so funny. It's like I've seen people go crazy about it, like absolutely go crazy about it. It's like it's fan fiction. It's not real. It's like head canon stuff. It's like you have a dream and you're like, oh my goodness, I had a dream that Godzilla, uh, the T Rex from the Toy Story movies, and and the Velociraptors from Land, not Land Before Time, the freaking where they clone the dinosaurs. That one, Jurassic Park.
Oh
We all
god.
sat down and we had a tea party together. It's like that stuff has been going on forever, like forever. It's
Uh,
like I
there was actually
I remember.
there was actually an
Yeah,
interesting was it? There was an interesting story of I ran into this little fandom, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The topic of conversation, because there was a fictional gay character. He's fictional, but he's a canonically gay character in a video game. Dorian Pavis from Dragon Age Inquisition, specifically, if you guys wanted to know who I'm specifically referencing.
I
But
don't know him, but I do know Dorian Gray.
yeah, there's a lot of topics about Dorian Gray. But for Dorian Pav, well, was he based off of that? No, well, I'm not gonna get into it. But anyways,
I think they did base that character. I obviously I'm joking. Like I know who the character is in
I don't know if they
Dragon
took
Age Inquisition,
I don't know if
but
they ever
the
took inspiration from that, but
I
I
I think it's one of those things where it's like that's a natural indication. Like it's a natural connection um, of seeing a character in fiction and then you writing about a character that's very similar. It's like sure they may not have like sat down and said, "Hey, we're basing this as off of this person 100%." It's more so like, "Oh, hey, yeah, we like this particular character archetype, so we're writing about this particular character archetype." I One of my favorite character archetypes to write is like a complete and total airhead. It's like that is so fun to write because you have to like I don't know if it's just the difficulty or the challenge or whatever, but it's so hilarious to write like a really ditzy character that's like funny ditzy, which is not that's not always an easy thing to do, and I hope my humor is translated very well. But it's like yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. It's something that you got to take some time and like go into and figure out and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
I like
but I
I
like it.
like the was it? I like writing about like arrogant was it? Arrogant rich a-holes. I don't know why, but I feel
Posh
like they come
posh
up with
people.
yeah, posh people. I feel like they come up with the most wittiest comebacks I've ever heard, and I just love like getting into their headspace, and it's
Mhm.
just so fun like coming up with like different types of was it creative insults that are like that is like you're like was that in it? Like you'd have to like actually pay attention in order to know all the layers with that insult. But I really enjoy writing those kind of characters. But anyways, originally what I'm trying to say, going back to what I was trying to say, there was an incident where there was some fan fiction being written about a canonically gay fictional character, about him being in a romantic relations with a female character. And there was a huge hubbub, a huge blow up of everyone saying that it's gay erasure, that this is a discrimination, that he is a gay character, so he shouldn't be with female characters at all. And I'm like, in my personal opinion, he's a fictional character. Why is it fair that we write fan fiction about straight, canonically straight fictional men character being in gay relationships, and that's fine in fandom? But if it's a gay character, they're not allowed to be in straight relationships in a fictional setting. They're not real people. They're not real. So it's like you can make fan fictions of a gay character being with a straight woman or being with a woman in general because they're not real. You can do that. Just as we can make straight men be with other men, and this is a fiction, it's not real. Fiction, they're not real. They're not. If it was like an actual IRL person who is gay and you're making them being in a female relationship, maybe that's a little more problematic. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an actual thing. There's a lot of fan fiction out there, but
Hmm. Actually, I have a question. I asked this to Ash the other day, and we got into a long conversation. Didn't actually come up with like very much of an answer for it, but I'll ask you because this is what I. So, is it Yuri, or does it fit into the that bracket if there's you got characters from a particular race and they're monogendered, so like they
are you talking
don't
about
have.
futa?
No,
Oh.
not the futons, not the mattresses that you unroll and you lay out for your buddy when he comes to have a sleepover at your place. No, not the futons. This is some other magical thing. They appear as one thing and they don't really like they don't have like they appear as one of the genders, but they're actually capable of like being both mother and sire to
Oh, are you
the
talking
young.
about, wait a second, are you talking about like alpha omega dynamics?
No,
Dude, I hear, okay, for those of you who don't know,
is that's
there,
that's a is
okay,
that a
so there's,
werewolf thing? Because
it's not a,
that's what I've been seeing that so
it's not
much
a
lately. It's
werewolf,
crazy.
it's not a werewolf thing. It's mainly used in gay fiction, but it's not a werewolf thing, but it is based off of wolf dynamics in
Hmm.
that are proven to this currently are proven that this dynamic isn't even true, but people took it as a fictional hierarchy thing, like, and they implement it mostly, as far as I know, mostly in gay romance. But alpha, omega, and beta dynamics is where like alphas are
So
usually, sometimes they get creative with it, but usually alphas are at the top of the hierarchy of society, omegas are at the bottom of society, and then there's
yeah,
betas
yeah,
who
yeah.
are just normal people. But
So very quickly, the study that was done, I know that there was a study done on wolves in nature, specifically North American ones, and that went around for a while. And then the guy who wrote the article later recanted it and said that no, it wasn't true because that's for some reason, and nobody has been able to explain this to me. For some reason, the that's viewed as heretical now in like the modern day, which is absolutely
wait, what?
mental.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's I can't trust me. I would love to explain it, but I can't because it's completely that
I mean, they
word that I
still.
was looking for that I can't find. It's so stupid because first of all, um am very familiar with wolves. Definitely grew up in a place where we have them. Definitely grew up in a place where we have wolf dog hybrids. I actually like. I actually there's a 30% wolf that is at the place where I'm staying right now, and then there is other places where I've encountered coyote packs and stuff like that. It's like if you don't think there's an actual like hierarchy as far as like alpha the alpha dogs and then they structure themselves, you're an absolute idiot. Like I'm sorry, but you're just like what, like no, this is absolutely works this way 100%. Don't think that this is not true because it is 100% accurate. So that first, and then I do like the whole like werewolf story stuff where they have the omegas are like the low caste, but they're not the caste that like fights. The alpha, the beta, the gammas and the deltas fight, and if they die out, then the omegas just get like taken over by the next clan or tribe or pack or whatever you want to call it. That is a very interesting like thing because you're taking something that is set in like various like pack group animals, and there's a ton of pack animals that exhibit this kind of behavior, and it's really really cool. And you're putting that into a thing or into a scenario that makes sense, and I think it's really cool, and I kind of like it. I like it a lot as far as like storytelling like tool. It's
Yeah.
not what I base my stuff off of, and that's not what I have with the primary race. I do have characters, and I am actually writing about these like they're not they're not the standard stereotypical werewolves. They're Anubis werewolves. So it's like
Ooh.
very different than the standard than the standard type, and this is a very like it actually like ties into like a lot of like old mythology when it comes to like Anubis and stuff like that. So like that's what I'm currently writing in like book 8, which is really really far into the series obviously. But no, just in general, it's like what happens when you have a species that, I mean, you have to have obviously they have to have, if they're a monogendered species, they have to have the ability to produce and take care of young. So they kind of have to have that stereotypical like female form. So they look female, but they can impregnate themselves and then other members of their species, as well as other female members of other species.
Kind of
And
like the
again,
Asari.
not the, yes, exactly. That's actually, I should have started with that. Why are we going the long way around explaining this when you're one of the biggest Mass Effect fans there is? Sorry, old Mass Effect fans. Yes, they're based entirely off of the Asari. That's what I base them off of. Because I've spoken with the lead writer of the original Mass Effect series. Um, and I really like it really inspired me to write this particular story, along with some other games that inspired me heavily, and one other one that really inspired me. But yeah, just generally it's like, so what happens when you have that? So are Asari and Asari relationships, I know that they're banned in the book, in the canon story, which is total garbage, by the way. That makes absolutely no sense. You can't have a species sit around for like for tens of thousands of years, and then have like a billion members of them, and then they just switch on a dime as soon as they find another species. Like there's just not enough, the numbers don't work. It's insane to think of it like that. But yeah, there's this, yeah, what do you call that? Is it, if you were to tell a story about an Asari romance, minusing out how it's supposedly taboo in their culture, you just minus that out, you just have it, and they have kids, they have a family. It's like, does that fit the qualifications of it being like a Yuri story? Like, does that fit
I
those
I mean,
qualifications?
a lot of people see it still as a Yuri story because they are
As a
feminine
physic, because
in
yeah,
physicality.
yeah,
So it would appeal to more, it would appeal to people who are attracted to the feminine form. So it would, it would in that, you know, frame of mind would be attractive to, lesbians. So Yuri would be, it would be technically, yeah, I'd still be Yuri. I mean, people still ship like FemShep and Liara together and then hoping that they have children together. And it's, usually women who do like, the shipping and fan art of it. I mean, don't, it's not like men don't do it, but
yeah,
there's women fan
it's
base out there that does it too.
yeah, it's, I would say it's primarily women. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it's not, yeah, it's like, it's still Yuri. It's just, the, the dynamics of how you go about it, I think is more, would be more of a topic if a certain thing was involved, and then it'd be like, well, is that Yuri or is it something else with an that starts with an F and a U and a U and a T and an A? Like it's just like if it like what is involved in the process, but there's just like that's like for more details. But I don't know if you want to go into that, but like but then it's like dude, I don't know. I just read yaoi. I don't know. I'm not like privy to the like intricacies of the difference between Yuri and the futon stuff, and then the, I don't know if, lesbians are into futon stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't assume so. Then wouldn't that make them bi? I don't. It's so complicated. I don't know. I'm not really privy to that side. I just read a lot of yaoi. All right, that's all I can say. Wait, what was I
So
saying? Oh, wait.
yeah, yeah. So we'll have to totally have to talk about that
Yeah.
later. But anyways, yeah.
Way
So
different topics. Oh yeah. I did want to say, like, as a weird side thing to what we were talking about, like the alpha, omega, beta fictional
mhm,
dynamics
mhm.
in fiction. There was an incident which I found fascinating because I didn't even know this, because I read yaoi romance so much that I didn't realize there was actual drama in the hetero romance sphere about the alpha beta omega dynamics. So, okay, alpha beta omega dynamics are mostly in LGBTQ romance, usually. But
I have not had this experience, but I don't read a lot of that stuff. Like I read
it's
enough, but not like the majority of where I have discovered it is
it's
in vampire and werewolf stories.
well, in the ones that I read, it's usually, the reason why it's LGBTQ is because the couples are sometimes women, a woman alpha and a woman omega who can procreate, and then there's a male alpha and a male omega who can procreate. So that's why it's more LGBTQ.
See, that's
So when you were talking about, like,
I don't know. I
when
don't
you were
know how
talking
the
about
science works on that one.
that takes a lot of detail oriented stuff that I don't think
Yeah, we
everyone's
won't go
privy
into. Yeah.
want to
Well,
get into that.
yeah.
But anyways, but basically that's what it's mainly aimed towards, is that, I mean, you do get like alpha omega hetero couples, don't get me wrong, but it's just mostly of the stuff I've read is mainly, Yuri yaoi stuff. But apparently, and I thought, like I said, I found it fascinating. So I found out that an author wrote hetero romances with alpha, omega, beta dynamics in it, and I think, and like like a woman is an omega, and then like a man's the alpha and stuff like that. I don't know if it was in reference. I think it might have been, as you said, reference to werewolves. I don't really read that stuff, but I think it was more of like in society. I don't think it was based off of werewolf stuff. I think it was just like hetero romances in an alpha omega beta society. I think. I could be wrong. I haven't read her stuff. She's kind of a B. I haven't read her stuff. But allegedly, she was the first one to implement alpha, omega, and beta dynamics in a hetero romance. All right. And she went on a suing spree, suing other authors who were also writing hetero, alpha, beta, omega dynamic romances. She was going around saying that because I wrote it first, I am copywriting this trope in
The
romance.
trope or a concept. Yeah, good luck with that. I don't think that's gonna fly.
Yeah, that's what was crazy about this, is because she's like, it's my idea. I'm copywriting it. And it's like, okay, so if you, because she's like, I'm the first one to come up with this in the hetero space, so this is my idea. And it's like, what?
That is so vile. Like, I mean, just genuinely, that is extremely vile. Ugh,
Yeah,
garbage people.
I'm not gonna mention her name because, let's be honest, I don't actually remember your name, lady. So I don't even know who you are, but I know you did this. But she also, like, she went after the YouTube the YouTuber who made a video talking about it. And that's the only reason I know about it is because one of my favorite YouTubers made a video on it. And I was like, what? This was happening? This is crazy. Like trying to copyright a trope? That's insanity. And then the author sued the YouTuber. And I was like, what the heck? And then it's like, it's so crazy. The author's insane, dude. I'm sure if you looked it up, you can find her name, but I don't know her name. She's not important enough for me to remember. But the incident was interesting. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Anyways, it's not too different from what is it? Gaming companies making patents for throwing balls in a game. It's like,
yeah,
or the motion of sitting on a horse, the motion of climbing and then sitting on a horse in a game, that's going to get patented.
I think all those concepts need to get just. I think those people should be. I honestly think
the
that
motion,
if you file for something like that, or filing for, I don't know, trying to copyright the word scrolls, or trying to copy the word jump, or trying to copyright like any of this kind of stuff, I think that if your company does that in any way, shape, or form, and it gets overturned, every single one of your previous copyrights goes public. Period. You can't object. I think that's how it should work going forward. If a company tries to overreach and they get smacked down by a court, they're like, all right, now you lose everything.
Ooh.
I think that would be so good. That would be such just desserts for obviously like just incredibly predatory evil behavior. It's like, yeah, take it, chew it, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fair punishment. I think that'd be pretty interesting. If would that actually happen? I don't freaking know. I don't know. I really hope that, eventually the law catches up with these greedy jerks, but time will tell, I guess. So, moving on from whatever we were talking about, apparently Split Fiction has launched to a resounding success. Everyone is going crazy for this game. A lot of people are like really praising the seamless split screen for the characters, because they do a lot of they show a lot of cutscenes with the characters together and do a seamless split screen when the characters like start breaking away from each other.
Yeah, or doing things. And the one that I saw that I thought was just really, really good, and it really sold me on the game concept, and it sold me on like okay, this is legitimately like really good. Like whoever's doing this, brilliant move. I am 100% behind you for supporting this. I'm definitely wanting to pick up the game at some point now. But it was the motorcycle scene where they're sisters, right?
No, I think they're like both
best friends. I thought they were sisters.
I thought they were sisters too, or they were together. I thought they were together, but no, they both applied to work at a company, and they both had different. They don't know each other. They both had different ideas for a gaming company.
You sure they don't?
Oh yeah, I saw a trailer, a trailer for like the opening of the game, and they're like, hi, nice to meet you, my name is this and this, and then they end up getting stuck in a game together, and they have like to work together to get through the game. Sorry, I'm like kind of jumping all over the place. Okay, so in Split Fiction, there is a technologically advanced gaming company that uses like this sphere.
EA. This is like an open criticism of either EA or it's Activision, one of the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's totally this.
And so they have this like advanced technology where I don't know if the gamer can go into the sphere or if the devs go into the sphere in order to make the games. But they're supposed to go into the sphere, and what like the imagination of the developer like comes to life. And you have these two main characters, this one chick who wants to make a sci-fi game because she loves sci-fi, and then there's another chick who wants to make a fantasy game because she loves fantasy. And they have two different ideas, and they're trying to pitch their idea to like the CEO of this technologically advanced, gaming company. And like during them trying to pitch their ideas, somehow they, I forgot how exactly this happened, but they both of the developers get stuck inside of this sphere that like makes games come to life. And it's not, was it, it's not like the game comes to life in real life. It's like your mind is transferred into the world that the devs are developing. So basically they're literally like, they dive right into their psyche basically, and then go through the game development or the game stories in the sci-fi and in the fantasy realm. And on the outside, the CEO, obviously he wants to get them out of there. And I don't think I think in the story this never happened before, obviously, like two developers in one sphere together, like that's insanity. And so they're like, we need to get them out. And then one of his assistants was like, no, it'll be dangerous if we try to take them out, because the neural link and them the neural link like being inside the sphere of like them developing the story inside their minds, but also them both being in it together, trying to separate them maybe too fast could cause a lot of mental damage to them. So it's like they have to finish the games. I can't remember. I don't know the actual story. I'm just assuming that I think that the developers have to finish the games that they're developing in their mind in order for them to be released from the bubble.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah,
You want to know something funny?
was it?
Not exactly, but there is another video game that has almost this exact same storyline slash like thing. I know the developer on it. He and I have been talking and somewhat like friends for a very very long time. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's very funny.
Hmm.
Yes. But I'm not saying that they stole it. Like obviously this co-op two-player thing has been a like the company that makes this. They made the previous ones that they've made. It Takes Two and A Way Out. Like they've done an amazing job building this style of genre of game, and the fact that you cannot play this by yourself, you have to have a partner play it with you, is so very cool, and I really like it.
I really love how I love how they they know they're good at co-op games, and they just like push the limits of what they can do. And I freaking love that. I love that so much, because you're like, okay, we're good at this one thing. How can we make it even better? How can we push our limits? What can we do to make it like even more like epic, more dynamic? And I love how it went from, was it went from two prisoners working together to try and escape from a prison. Then it
Yeah.
went to a little fantasy where two parents get transferred into dolls, and they have to go through this magical
Yeah, yeah,
adventure
yeah.
of and working together. During the story they hate each other, and to the point where they're getting a divorce, but they have to work together in order to make it back to their original bodies and make it back to their daughter
Their
who
daughter, yeah.
who's basically by
I
herself, and
I
they're like,
I did I really like that game. I hated the there was an issue. There was an issue with some of the third party software that was with that really sucked, and I hope they fixed that.
Mm, well, I never heard about
It's a good
that. So,
question. It's a good question. I'll see if they have any reports on it.
but then they pushed their limits and went to two two girls who want to make their own stories come to life, and they just come out with this. They come out with split fiction where you go through like one part of the story you go through high fantasy where you use dragons and go through puzzles and use magic and stuff like that. And then in the other you go through a hyper sci-fi futuristic city and like you're running and going through all these different portals and stuff like that. And I was like, they really like the progression is so crazy. Like it's just I love that. I love that. I was just talking about how like was it how like seeing this one musician's progression through the years of like him making music and him going through different like he started out with one genre and then started mixing and mixing it up and stuff like that where he is now. And I was like, the progression of watching him try different genres in the music industry is like so crazy because everyone's like, you need, if you especially in the music industry, if you start out in one genre you usually just stay in that genre, but he goes out of the box. He does his own thing. He wants to go try, he wants play, like instead of playing rock music, he wants to try doing piano. He learns how to do piano and he starts doing more softer music. And then later on, he does rock opera. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy is a true artist." Like, "Oh my god," because you can see the progression of him like going through these stages. And that's what I'm getting with this. Is it Joseph Fares or is it Joseph Fares, the creator of Split Fiction? He's going
Mm-hmm.
from these like, because if you actually, I played A Way Out. A Way Out is very simplistic in terms of like what you can do when it comes to like puzzles and stuff. It's very
Yeah.
simplistic. But then you have It Takes Two. That's a little more dynamic. There's actual different puzzles. You need to actually work together. You need to be careful because
Mm-hmm.
there's guards, there's enemies. And then, well, actually, like that's also in A Way Out. You have to hide from cops and stuff. But it's like I said, it's a little more basic. But in It Takes Two, that's a little more dynamic. You actually have to be careful. And then like it's a little more creative because you're tiny and you have to like carry heavy things in order to like get around and stuff. Like it's really cute. I love it, and it's just a little more creative, and I like it. And then you have Split Fiction, and it's just crazy because it just was it bursting with passion, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that. It's just uh, the one thing that we're missing in the industry: passion, beautiful art, like actually caring about the story and the characters, and like delving the player into these environments. And I love that. Like, God, I love, I love it. I love it. I love that what they're doing, and what is like the cherry on top of this beautifully decorated cake is that Josef Fares called out microtransactions in the
Oh
industry,
yeah.
and he
Yeah.
said those
It
kinds
was
of
great.
beep affect game design. And
uh,
he didn't
yeah.
hold back. He didn't hold back. He was like, he called it
And
poop.
they have a hit with this one because it hit 258,000 concurrent players. So like it's doing really really good, and I'm like super happy for that. Um, there's like almost 50,000 people playing it just a few minutes ago. So yeah, I think that overall I'm super happy with this. I'm so looking forward to them. I am looking forward to playing this. I definitely want to play this. I just need somebody to play it with. But yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looks really good. I was definitely keeping an eye on it, and I honestly I didn't even know it was already launched. I think I
Yep.
was
Yeah, no, I thought it was due out in March, but I mean, I guess we're half.
What's
Yes, it was due out in March. Saib, you idiot.
oh my.
It was due out in March the 6th. Yes, my brain was correct. I've just been lagging behind realizing, that we're so far,
Dude,
we're already so far into March. Like, oh, good lord.
this might be
I need help.
controversial. This might be controversial for me to say, but this looks like a 60 to $70 game. This looks like it.
Yep,
But they're
and
selling
that's what
it
it is.
they're selling
Oh,
it
sorry.
for
That is what
50.
it is for me. Yes,
Oh, sorry.
in my
For the
in my
US.
maple syrup dollars.
In the US, they're actually selling it for $50.
Yes, yeah.
That's like slightly above the original price that games used to be. That's
Hmm.
insanity. And it's getting a lot of good reviews.
Yeah,
Actually,
no, it
actually
it looks.
I don't see one bad review. Oh my god. That's actually really good.
uh oh wow, actually, you know what? I'm looking.
Overwhelmingly positive. Wow.
Browse all. Yeah, it's got 17,000 reviews on it. Jeez Louise, that is very good. And I am scrolling and I have yet to see. Oh, there's one negative one. I've been timed out by Haze Light Discord. 72 hours for saying this. I love split fiction and everything Haze Light Studios creates, but I despise EA and their practices. Blah 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 blah. So he
The
hates
one
EA.
the one
Congratulations,
negative comment.
everybody else does too. You're not alone in
The
this.
one negative comment was just him saying, I like the game, but I hate EA. And that's it.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Wow. But that's actually crazy. Oh, wait, hold on. Our on first launch, Papa asked, oh, never mind. He came up, he's putting out other problems.
Yeah,
What's
there's
happening?
there's a few technical issues with the free to play a variant of the game, and if you have an active family pass um, connected at the same time, then you run into some minor issues. Looks like,
Oh,
but
oh.
literally one out of like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So yeah, I'm I'm pretty okay with that. That seems to be that seems to be pretty good. I would
Oh,
I would say that is very good.
someone said, but this game's writing is atrocious. They must be a
I
Veilguard fan.
I don't. So from what I saw, now I have not played through the game, so I don't know for sure. But from what I saw, I really don't think that it's nearly as. I don't think it's like that. I don't. I think that it seems to be pretty standardized writing, and I could be wrong. Like we were bamboozled, obviously, by a couple of games in the past. So
I
yeah.
mean, It Takes Two's writing was very more profound than I thought it would be. I was like, oh, it's just a cute co-op game. No, it's about like drama in a family of like the parents are trying to get a divorce, but the daughter doesn't want them to, and then the parents magically get transferred into like little dolls and they have to make it back to their bodies, but they hate each other, but they have to work together, and then maybe eventually they end up falling back in love. I don't know. I haven't played the game. I assume that's what happens, but like it's just so like it was the story was a little more complex than I gave it credit for, and I was like, hey, this is actually a pretty good story. What the heck? But they're said for comparison, in It Takes Two, the different worlds are based around the foundation of love. Okay, and each world, the characters work on that foundation or quality and abilities they have in the world sort of reflect that. Okay, in A Way Out, the location are just a progression of their escape story. Makes sense. And this is I'm reading someone's negative comment about split fiction. In It Takes Two, there's also memorable NPCs, both good ones that help you and ones you end up fighting against, as well as sections of the world you can interact with and play games and just oh, I lost my place. God damn it. It's all just one big block of text. They didn't. Uh, God, I can't find it. and just mess around with items, which you can also do in A Way Out. There's just really great world building in general, and gradually through the story, you get to learn little more about the characters and the type of relation they currently have, while also repairing it. However, in split fiction, these characters don't know each other, and for the most part, we don't learn anything about them. We're halfway through the game, and one character has just refused to share anything until just recently. The conversations of the characters have between each other are more or less pointless banter or quippy nonsense. Other than that, one character refuses to talk about her life while the other repeats the same one thing about her life. As for the worlds, they're just worlds. There's no well designed or memorable NPCs, and there was zero sections to interact with the world and use items or play games for fun until one area somewhere 6 to 7 hours in, and one interactive item every 3 hours does not count. There were way more interactive game sections in the other games, which they're not wrong. They're not wrong. I played A Way
Hmm.
Out,
Hmm.
and they had so many side mini games. Literally, me me and my friend were playing A Way Out, and we literally stopped the main story because he wanted to beat my butt in was it tic-tac-toe. We literally spent like an hour playing tic-tac-toe because because he wanted to beat my butt and like have bragging rights. It was stupid. But yeah, we were like trying to sneak into a hospital because we just recently escaped from the prison and we're sneaking into the hospital. And like we're like, no, wait, we need to mess with things. And then yeah, so I understand what they're saying. Split Fiction has more or less been a fast-paced linear story game, the mostly with mostly performing with mostly platforming and not a lot of puzzles. There's nothing to care about in the worlds and even less the characters you play as. I used keyboard for previous games such as It Takes Two and A Way Out, and I had minimal to no problems at all. But is this game? But is this game its constant issues? Sure, it's visually interesting, but the story does not hook you or progress well at all like its previous successors. That is,
I think that's probably a matter of somebody's opinion based off of the
yeah.
characters.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say, it's like, I
that's the
think that's your
thing.
opinion because as far as I say,
Yeah.
I don't see anyone else saying that, like, the writing's bad.
And I would say hands down, um I think that's why they're making so many games as quickly as they are. Like they're not spending like 5 years on each one of these because my only downside to these types of games is like, well, it depends on the characters, right? Like if you're into these characters, then great, then it works. If you're two hetero bros and you just played A Way Out and you were like, man, that was awesome. Yeah, our teamwork is amazing. Yeah, and you're like, yeah, you coming together with the governor picture that you referenced earlier, and then they go, hey man, this studio put out a new game. That's awesome. Let's go over and play it. And then they sit down and it's like, wait, we're playing a married couple. Uh,
Uh,
Jim, I like you, but I don't like you that much.
uh
Right? So
yeah.
now it's like I feel that what they're doing is they are creating very, unique characters, but because I think there is a way that you could have like a character creator, but it would probably jump the development time on these games up significantly. And so I think what they're doing by coming out with just lots of different versions of these games and pumping out like several of them every like not several of them but one of them every several years, it's like that's I think what they're doing, it totally makes sense and it totally works.
Hmm. I think I'm gonna have to play it for myself because I want to see it for myself. I feel a lot
Hmm.
of people are praising it. I haven't seen anyone rag on the writing at all except the negative comments, which are like there's like 5 negative comments in like a sea of thousands. Uh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it says so someone gave it a 5 out of 7. Someone gave it a 5 out of 7. Is that a good metric? Is that like they usually do it at like
Good question. Yeah.
7 or 8 out of 10, I think. Haven't. Huh. Okay. Someone said I haven't actually played the game yet, but I am gonna leave a positive review to support the developers for adding the Friends Pass feature to their games. I put all the
Mm-hmm.
info you could need about the game and Friends Pass on this post. Well, that's helpful. Yeah, this is very interesting. I love that they know their audience, and that's what I love. They know their audience, and they're like, we're not gonna make you wait. What were the other games priced at? Let me see. Uh, it takes two. Oh wait, okay, that's $40. Uh, Way Out wasn't that much either. Yeah, that was $30. Yeah, and you can see the gradual, was it the rise of the price because of how much you can tell they put was it like how much develop I wouldn't say they put more effort into the games, you can tell. And that they put more, and because they put more effort into the games, they slightly raised the price. But it's still affordable. It's not like the crazy like straight up $100 or $200 just to play this game and have access to all the DLC and all the microtransactions and stuff like that you see nowadays. These are all just they're just like cute co-op games and at reasonable prices, in my opinion. Because was it Split Fiction seems like an actual $60 to $70 game you would see nowadays, but they're like, nah, we're just gonna sell it to you for like $50. I think that's actually pretty cool of them to do that because I
Yep.
think I think that's a
And
very fair
the
price.
friend pass, I think that's really good. Well, like yeah, I'm gonna have to find somebody to play this with because
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at some of the scenes and like yes, so we always talk about like what's the most important thing with a game? Gameplay. Story is second. You know, visuals are like depending on what your preference is, then you know, after gameplay it's either visual, story or something like that. Now, there are some games where gameplay's not really a thing like visual novels. Steam is having a sale on visual novels right now, and visual novels typically don't have any gameplay other than hitting next, next, next,
Hey,
next, make a choice, next, next, next.
I resent that. All right.
But no, because if you look at the list of Steam games that are selling right now that are visual novels,
Ooh,
some of them actually
What do you do
deep
to play
game
PC
mechanics.
to play PC games? You just press a button. You just keep pressing. You smash buttons. Ooh, that's all you're doing. Like what? Jeez. And then what do you do when you play controller? You're just smashing buttons. You're just like you're not even really. What is that? What is that comparison? What is that comparison? What does that mean, side?
Nothing. I'm saying that there's games that have actual like content and stuff
Totally
that's
not because
in
I
as
was.
far as game as
Totally
far as
not because.
gameplay goes that's actually quite deep.
Literally, I was playing a visual novel last night. I was like, what do you mean? Do you know how many times I died in that visual novel? I died too many times, Saib, alright? And so I only now started trying to understand the mechanics of the visual novel, and I'm trying to do this thing, and I keep dying all the time, and I'm like, it's just very frustrating, okay? It's not as easy.
I've
It's
been
not as
playing
easy as it
now.
looks.
I have been playing one visual novel, and it's like, hey, there's a rhythm game, and the better you get the rhythm game, the more you advance the story. And I'm like, great. So I've done this rhythm game like 40 times in a row, and I'm still like at this low level. And I know the dev, so I send that to the dev, and the dev is like, dude, like that's like the base level of like rhythm, like that's the lowest score you could get. You've done this 20 times and you haven't been able to get past the lowest score. And I'm
Ooh.
like, I suck at rhythm games. I have no internal rhythm whatsoever unless I'm writing. Then it seems to come out in writing. But I have absolutely no capability of playing a rhythm game in any way, shape, or form, and it sucks.
Yeah,
So it's hilarious.
I used to play was it the closest I ever got to a rhythm game was playing, oh god, what was that? Uh Guitar Hero? Yeah, playing Guitar
Hmm.
Hero.
Hmm.
That's the closest I've ever gotten to a rhythm game, and I've never touched it since. But yeah, there's a I'm just saying, like, sometimes visual novels, they are aware that the most you can do is just do click and shiza, all right? But the one I was the one I was playing was like more survival horror. So yeah, it
Hmm.
is a little more complicated with the gameplay because they're like you need to collect resources. You need to if you like you need to evade your cap like you need to evade the enemies and stuff, or you're
Oh,
gonna
that's cool. All right. All right.
yeah,
Well,
dude, it
that's
is.
decent. That's decent.
Yeah, it was like it's like you need to be careful on which areas you search and try to survive because if you're not careful, an enemy's going to be there. So I have to constantly save because I'm like I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know who's going to show up. And yeah, only so far I found a canteen of water and a knife. All right, that's all I've gotten so far. And apparently, the most items you can carry is 10, and I only got 2 items. I didn't even make it that far into the game. And I'm like, God damn it. So yeah, and I'm trying to find other survivors. It's like a very complex. I'm trying to find. I only found one survivor. I'm trying to find two other survivors, and you need to do this specific thing in order to save the second survivor. But I keep missing the time point to do that thing because you have to do it at night. But when I try to do it, the sun starts coming up, and it's considered day the next day. So I'm like, dang it. So it's like I'm trying to save the other person, but it's hard to. I need to look up an actual guide of like how I need to save the second person. I already know how to save the first person. I need to know how to save the second person. It's very complex. But yeah, I love how it's not, your typical visual novel of like, oh, just make the basic choices of like, do this and do that and then you get the happy ending. And it's like, no, you actually have to lock in. You lock in, things are happening, you need to survive. And I'm like, okay. I'm just here for the ride. Hello, Junior Lamp.
Hilarious.
Welcome in. So it's not just clicking. Okay, visual novels can be complex when written by
I
competent people. I'm
Yes,
saying.
that was my point. That was my point. There's lots of different stuff that's going on. Um and I'm going through the list and I'm trying to like find like what's some of the good games that are out right now, but there's so many of them. There's so many of them. I don't even know where to begin. Oy.
Ugh, I can't
There
believe
are
they're
so many
still
of them.
they made. Who plays golfing game? No, I mean like 2K25 golfing tournament. Like who actually plays that?
People who are very avid golfer fans. I mean, I don't really understand who plays normal golf. I mean, I don't
Who
really get it,
plays
but
normal golf? Yeah.
I'm not an avid golfer. I don't mean to make fun. If you're an avid golfer, I
All
mean you know ill will.
all
Just
I
generally
know is
speaking,
that if you have the highest score, that's bad. You have to get the lowest score to win. Like you have to hit the ball as least as possible is the structure of the game. Why are a lot of these games in my queue like mixed? Oh, it's an MMO. I don't play MMOs. Ew. Being on a online multiplayer. Ew. Where's my single player stuff? Oh, hey, hi, Avowed.
yeah,
We were just talking about
that's
you, Avowed.
mm-hmm.
Well,
Hilarious.
at least the 7,000 people who left reviews, they're mostly positive. While Split Fiction came out like a couple days ago and has 11,000 or 17,000 reviews, and it's overwhelmingly positive. Yeah. Cough, cough. Lots of dumb choices here. Steal food and money from starving people with no consequences. Oh my god.
What?
Sorry, I'm just looking through. We're just looking through Steam right now. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2. I have no. I wanted to play Spider-Man 2, but then I heard the stuff going on in Spider-Man 2, and I was like, I'm probably not gonna play that game, which is disappointing. I hated what they did. I hated what they did with the first Spider-Man game, where they changed the voice actor's face. Like, you know how? Okay, so they did a facial scan of the actual voice actor, and they just made
Hmm.
the voice actor, Peter Parker in the original Spider-Man game. But then there was like an update, and then they changed the actor's face to something totally different. And a lot of people were saying that they only did that because like a new Spider-Man, a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie was coming out, and they just totally redid the face. And then people are like, no, and then the developers like, no, we didn't. No, that's not why we did it. No, that's not why we did it. That is totally why you did it. That's totally why you did it. And I got so annoyed because people got used to what Peter Parker looked like in the games, Like you decided to use the voice actors, facial features, and so you put them in the game. And so people have been playing as that person for a while now, and then you just decide to change it all of a sudden. That's annoying, dude. That legit pissed me off. It's like they're retroactively changing the face of was it what's his name, Snake, from the Metal Gear
Yes.
series. Like
Yeah.
You play Snake, and you get used to his facial features. You're like, wow, this guy's
Yeah.
so cool. I like this
You're kind
guy.
of expecting something there.
And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's a blonde dude, and you're like, who the heck is this guy? Who are you? Like, and they're like, no, we're not changing his facial features or anything because it'll make the girls go crazy. That's not why we're changing his face to make him more like, we're not doing that to appeal to another audience. We're not doing that, guys. And it's like, that's totally why you're doing it, bro. Stop lying. And then, lo and behold, when they put out the next game, it's the same freaking weird face that they used from the previous game. And then they changed MJ's face totally from the previous game. It's like they can't stop freaking changing people's faces. They can't stop. They
Hmm.
just want to keep adjusting faces. That stuff pissed me off. Like, MJ looked fine in the first game, and then they felt the need because they're like, well, we can't change Peter Parker's face anymore. Let's change MJ's face. And they changed her face to an absurd degree. Like, they didn't need to do that, but they did, and it's so annoying. And they can't even get the Puerto Rican flag right. And they can't even like they're like, wait, is Morales half Puerto Rican, or was it? It is. He's half Puerto
I
Rican, right?
don't know. That's a good question.
Uh, wait, did I say Michael or Miles? Miles Morales. Uh,
Oh, look. Slay the Princess has come on sale.
hey, yeah, he's half Puerto Rican, half black. Okay. So yeah, they couldn't even get the Puerto Rican flag right. That was also a controversy that people don't remember, but that happened. Goodness gracious. But yeah, just, going off tangent. But sorry, we tend to do that. We tend to go off tangent and get into other topics. But anyways, Overwatch apparently is going third person, and from Saib's words, because apparently never seeing your $40 skin does not make people buy them when it's first person. I don't know. In my opinion, the only reason people dropped Overwatch is because of the, was it power mechanics, not really because of the skins. Like, technically you could make an argument that people got tired of not being able to see their skins even though they paid money for it, but that didn't stop people from actually buying the skins. like, you still know what you look like. You still know that other people are seeing you with those skins. I'm just saying, I don't think Overwatch 2 is trying to bring itself back into relevancy ever since Marvel Rivals came onto the scene. And
Hmm.
they're grasping at straws, and they're like, what can we do to encourage people to come back? What was that thing people were asking for like 6 years and we never did? Oh, right, making third person so they can see their skins. We can do that. You do realize that Overwatch 2 and Overwatch in general is the state that it's in now because they have not been listening to gamers' complaints for years. And the only reason people were playing Overwatch 2 because it was the only decent, like, online multiplayer, I can't say battle royale, what do you call it? Like, where you're all grouped together to, like, take out the other team. Like co-op. You know what I
Like,
mean?
you
Like
mean an
PvP, PvP,
extraction?
PvP. Like,
Oh,
yeah, like it's the only decent PvP
very
multi,
basic PvP.
yeah,
Yeah.
PvP game of like,
Only like 90% of the games out there. Not
yeah.
90%. I think it's like probably like 50, 60%.
I mean, there's a was it something to say for Team Fortress 2, but I've heard it
Hmm.
flung around, but I don't really see it that much in like
Yeah, so there's, yeah,
mainstream stuff.
MOBAs are like, yeah,
But
like,
was it
yeah, typically
but
MOBAs.
Overwatch 2 basically became very complacent because they're
Nope,
like,
they sure did.
we know we're at the top of the heap. We know that you know that we're the only ones providing you what you quote unquote want. So, like, they know that they had a whole, I can't, why, I guess I could say it, like, monopoly on the genre right now because it was the only one that was decent. Even though, like, and it seems like, from what I understand, I'm not totally into Overwatch, but what I heard from other avid Overwatch players, uh the devs did not listen to honest feedback. They didn't.
Nope.
They only preferred to listen to um Overwatch 2 simps, people who was it inflate their egos, who,
Yeah, sycophants.
yeah,
Sycophants who said, your game is perfect. You don't need to change anything. Just keep giving me more of the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I'll never leave you. And then the next day they stop playing the game. Yeah,
yeah,
those people. They listen to those people. Absolute. Again, there is no word for describing the level of stupidity that was running that project. Now, Jeff and some of the other people who were helming the game were trying to do things different. We're trying to push for stuff. But then again, you have, at the time it was Bobby Kotick saying, "No, I'm not going to give you money. We already gave you the money to make the game, which was a pittance compared to how much it's brought in. I don't want you to have to, like, you have to continue to pump out billions upon billions of dollars from this IP without us giving you any support for it whatsoever." Like it's World of Warcraft, it's the Warcraft IP in general, it's Overwatch, it's like it's everything that Blizzard did. Bobby Kotick gave them like they would bring in like something crazy. Like they bring in $1 billion in a year. And then he go, "How much money do you need to pay people to keep making this?" And it's like, "Well, we need to like put at least like 50 million into it this year." No, you'll have to make do with like 20 or 30 million. And then yeah, and then they paying people peanuts and whatnot. And then Bobby's just like getting his fourth, fifth, and sixth yacht. What a scumbag. What an absolute scumbag. Killed IPs because he was too stupid to see like what they actually needed. What a garbage human being. Sorry.
no, it's it's just, I think this is just karma. coming to bite them in the butt because
Let's hope so.
obviously they took for granted their community, they took for granted their consumer base, they took it all for granted, their success, and at some point it was bound to happen that a new contender was going to hit the scene. At some point, it was bound to happen. The fact that they never put that into account just goes to show how complacent they've been. Like, this market is constantly changing. Of course, someone was going to put out a new multiplayer game at some point. It's just very dumb in hindsight. Like, I bet they breathed sighs of relief when they heard that there was many cancellations of PvP games. Like, I bet they were so relieved. They're like, we're still at the top. We're still on the throne of online PvP games. We're still here and we'll never leave. And then, of course, never say never, not in this industry, baby. But yeah, this was bound to happen. But like I said, they're just grasping at straws. They're going back through. I'm pretty sure they're dusting off the feedback subreddit that they never looked into. And they're dusting it off, and they're going through all the comments trying to see what they can do to bring customers back, to breed goodwill with their consumers, because we want your money. Because we want your money. Please come back. We want your money. Don't leave us. We actually need you to buy our stuff. Funny that you actually devs actually need us to buy their products. Who knew that we were very fundamental in this process? But yeah, like I said, they're just grasping at straws now. The only way that they might... Okay, I also need to emphasize that they have totally unbalanced the gameplay with characters. That's one of the major reasons people don't like Overwatch and they move to Marvel Rivals, because at least in Marvel Rivals, they're like trying to balance out the gameplay where it's more fair for everybody and not just overpower one character. Though some people have said that they've started doing updates where some characters are kind of getting a little OP, so they're still trying to like balance it out. So they're still working on that. But Marvel Rivals is still fairly new, so I think a lot of people are giving them grace on that. If it becomes a problem in the future, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not going to hesitate to point that out. But yeah. But Overwatch, in my experience, because I did play Overwatch before Marvel Rivals came out. And then Marvel Rivals did come out, and I played Marvel Rivals, and I had so much fun playing Marvel Rivals. And then I went back to Overwatch. And let me just say that experience was jarring, because I was like, this isn't fun. I don't like playing Overwatch anymore. And I was like,
did you see the changes that all the changes that they're coming out with now? They're bringing third person.
They're bringing third person. They're bringing old modes. They're bringing back old maps, old modes that people have been crying for years. I'm not talking about a couple of years. I'm talking about for 6 years, bro. Forever. They've been crying to have these modes back. They wanted original Overwatch back. They never brought original Overwatch back until Marvel Rivals came onto the scene. Then all of a sudden they're starting to do the things that people actually wanted them to do. And it's so freaking scummy, bro. It is so scummy. It's like, instead of, like, you literally had to wait until you had a contender making you sweat to do these changes. F off with that, dude. F off. That just shows you're not doing it out of goodwill. You're doing it out of necessity, because you know that everyone's going to dump Overwatch 2 for Marvel Rivals, because Marvel Rivals doing everything to keep the player base. They're putting in new modes for players to have fun with. They're putting out new skins every was it couple months. They're pulling out new skins. And do you know what's awesome about this? They have a giant roster to choose from. And it's not even skins. They have heroes coming out every couple months because they're basing their IP off of the Marvel Comics universe. Do you know how many characters are in there? Do you know how many villains are in there? Do you know how many powers there are in there? Do you know how many different archetypes and different skins you can get with these characters? Like, there is so much that they can do with Marvel Rivals than Overwatch has been doing for the last, however, when did Overwatch even come out? I don't even know. When did it come out? Like in 2019? Overwatch 2 specifically?
No, before that. It's been out for a long time.
It
Like
has.
a long time. Overwatch 2 came out a little while ago,
A
which
couple,
wasn't a true
2023. It came out in
Yeah, it wasn't a
2023.
true. Yep, wasn't a true second game though. It was just
It was just
co-branded first
Overwatch.
game
It
when
was
they
just,
replaced it.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
worse Overwatch. Wait, where's Overwatch? Did they get rid of original Overwatch? Yo,
Yes, you can't play it anymore.
wow!
It's been incorporated into the first one. Yeah.
Wow! Are you
Yeah,
serious?
like I said, really, really dumb. Not
Wow!
very cool at all.
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. No wonder people were...
You're just discovering this now?
I didn't know they actually simulated Overwatch into Overwatch 2. I didn't know that.
Yep.
I thought they came out with...
nuked it.
Wow, bro. Okay. I didn't know they got rid of it. Goodness. Oh, God. Well, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. So they're
Yep.
forcing everyone to play Overwatch 2. Okay. So I can just call it Overwatch because it's the only Overwatch game that's here now. Okay. I was like, oh, there's a distinct difference because there's Overwatch and then there's Overwatch 2. But no, it's just Overwatch. But worse. Like, goodness gracious. Wasting everybody's time, dude. Like, it's just... Just greed. Greed and ego. And now they're getting kicked in the shorts and they're feeling it. And yeah, I think they deserve it.
They could have done so much with the Overwatch. If they were smart, if they had played it like how Riot has played Arcane, it would be one of the biggest IPs in the world today. But no, Bobby blankety blank Kotick needed to have a third yacht every year. What a garbage human being. Absolute scum of the earth.
Goodness gracious. Well,
I wonder how much he's sweating with the list about to come out. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, I'm just saying, well deserved. Just, karmic justice and all that.
Hope so.
All right, so I'm sure you'll have insight on this side. But the God of War creator defends Starfield as one of the best single player narratives in gaming.
So I was thinking about how to say this. I want to repeat and emphasize with the previous topics that we talked about that not every story is something that people like, that everybody likes. Obviously, everybody's favorite game is going to be largely different than most other people's games for many other different reasons. Okay. It's like, how is the storytelling in Skyrim?
I need to go to the restroom real quick. Okay. I'll be right.
All right. I'll rant about this very briefly. The storytelling in Skyrim is good. It is not great. It is not great when you compare it to a game that really embraces that storytelling, like Baldur's Gate. And I'm not just talking about Baldur's Gate 3, I'm talking Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 that were out way before Skyrim was. And yes, there is some storytelling that is just it's very good for what it is. There's lots of really great stories in Skyrim. One of the things that I would do for writing experience is I would take one of these randomized starts where it starts you from a completely different perspective. It would drop you in the world somewhere with a story that you had to follow, and I loved that. I thought that was so cool, and that was a great way to like write characters from different perspectives to kind of see, what kind of things they have to deal with and whatnot. It's not perfect, but it was cool. Um, Starfield is written for people who like NASA punk, who sit around and listen to podcasts about quantum theory. If that is your what you do in your free time, then it is probably one of the best gaming experiences you've ever had. But obviously, there's a lot of people who are like, no, absolutely not. You know, I hate it. It's garbage. It's something that I hate. I don't ever want to see it around here. Blah blah blah. It's like yeah, people genuinely hate it. And again, I got in big trouble for this years ago when I was like, yo, just so you know, all you PlayStation people, um, Death Stranding is not your typical run and gun game with cool explosions and stuff like that. It's not that it's like, oh, you wouldn't get it because you're not, a Porsche and intelligent like me. That's not what I was saying. I was saying that it was a very methodical game that didn't have a lot of action to it. That's literally all I meant. Um, and yes, some people they really 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 hated that because they were like, no, it's going to be an action packed, super fun, amazing game. And it's like, well, or maybe it's not. like maybe it's not. We don't know. And lo and behold, it came out and you know not what some people were expecting, obviously. Uh, but yeah, just in general, games like this, it's people's opinions. And again, there are very few games out there. There's one or two that deal with like heavy like quantum physics theory stuff. Um, Not a lot, but again, if you're into that, if that's what you're really looking for, if that's what you're jumping towards, then yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be something that's cool. That's going to be something that people are going to jump at the chance of getting. So yeah, yeah, interesting. Very interesting. I know Reaver is going to be like, it was a garbage game, and again, it just basically boils down to it may not have been your thing, and so if it's not your thing, then it's not your thing. Um, and I would say that even from an outsider's perspective, if you're really into that kind of storyline, then that really makes it something. Hmm. Anyways, alrighty. Then what was our other? Um. Oh yes, I did want to talk about this. So there's this hilarious skit that I saw came out just a couple days ago, where it was like Sony's sitting there going, "Ha ha 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 ha! Hey, Microsoft, notice you haven't put out a big AAA exclusive game in a little while. Ha 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 ha! We're doing so good. What have you been up to?" And it's this very panicked looking Microsoft employee who's like, "We created a new state of matter. It allows us to run quantum physics calculations on an infinite scale that is far and beyond anything that we've ever done before. This is a door we've opened into the infinity that is the dark abyss. We have started this and we cannot close the door." And it just started to panic and go into this full meltdown. I'm going to link this because this is absolutely hilarious. Copy link. Go over to the podcasty thingy and then check this out. Boom. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious, and very true, because Microsoft has been, doing stuff that other people would normally go, "Are you insane, sir?" And the answer is yes. Yes, they are, clearly. Oh my goodness, that's a fun one. But that was very fun. There was a new patch out for Civ 6 that just dropped. The new patch is better. I don't I don't know I don't know if it's a guarantee, but it is better. It's good. It's a little bit better. Has it fixed all the problems? No, and don't expect it to. But yeah, um, interesting. And then we've got expect to see more of these like he, hero shooters are making a big return. What's this newest one out? The newest one out is called um, what is it? Grenade Punk? No, Frag Punk. Yes, Frag, as in the grenades. That's how I mixed that up. Again, first person apparently only with like some actiony scenes in third person when you use special abilities and stuff like that. I I I don't know if I'm a I do not like this game. I do not like this game at all. It is a one shot insta kill game for the from what I'm seeing as far as like some of the combat goes. Um, I cannot stand I can't stand Twitch based shooters. I do not like them. They're not fun. I don't like super bullet spongy things either, but at least give me a chance if I'm getting like, ambushed. Like, and again, I know that ambush gameplay is something that some people really like. Some people really into ambush gameplay. I am not. I like slow methodical stuff where you're playing a mini chess game with somebody every combat thing, like, and you're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you're trading blows and you're being very cold and calculating on how to do it. I'm watching this gameplay and it looks terrible. Again, from my perspective, it looks terrible because it's like one sniper shot torso kills a person, and it doesn't even look like it's a serious sniper gun. It looks like it's just a standard, like fairly standard sniper gun. So I don't know. I don't know. Don't not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan. Like I don't know. Somebody's got to like. What is the draw to playing a game where you sit in a lobby for like 5 minutes and then you sit in the pre-game lobby for another minute. Then you go into the game and you're sitting in the outside lobby for another minute, and then you're jumping and waiting for the round to start. You go in, you step around a corner, you get one shot by a sniper, boom, you're dead. Next round. Like I don't, I don't, I don't, I don't get the appeal. I really don't. All right, let's see what else is in the store that I missed clearly because Split Fiction came out. Um, oh, there's a new update to Space Marine 2. Cool. There is more content out for Rivals. There's been a bunch of other games that I have not been able to get into just yet. Again, another hero shooter, Sprinova, and I don't know. It seems like this stuff is coming out of left field constantly. They plastered a content filter on this, but all I'm seeing is just all I'm seeing is just people like it's a hero shooter. It's a hero shooter.
All
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah,
I'm
yeah. I heard
back.
about this one. Hey, welcome back.
And
So I was
in my
talking about
defense, I wasn't going to talk smack about Starfield. I'm just saying what other people have said because I have not played the game. I'm only repeating what others have said when they didn't
yeah,
like the game.
yeah. So, anyways,
I
so
mean,
I looked at so yeah, we talked about that. We
oh
talked
yeah,
about
and
that. I think
I
that
was curious, but on the Microsoft thing, what was the point of them doing that? Like, is that have any benefit to humankind? So like what are they gonna do with
the
that?
the the new state of matter,
Yeah.
well, it you know, opening a portal to the Cthulhu Lovecraftian universe and flooding our reality with ancient, you know, gods. Probably.
All I'm hearing is tentacle monsters, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Um, it's a hilarious clip. Everybody should check it out. I absolutely loved it. It's like PlayStation, like nee 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 boo boo. What are you doing, Microsoft? Look at our game. We just launched a game. It was the top, you know, exclusive game in the last few months. And it's like, yeah, we invented a new state of matter
That
that
could
could
change our
change
world.
that could change our world for the worse, most likely for the worse.
it's,
Uh,
it's
you
never
know,
for the better.
we've been messing around with quantum entanglement and drives. It's like oh yeah. Priorities, people, priorities. This Sternova game I was talking about just before you came back. This is the one. This is a game where your character is a two-dimensional character inside a three-dimensional world.
What?
Because yeah, Sternova. Because I was looking at other games that have come out recently, and I did see that I looked at Fragpunk because it's a hero shooter that came out, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I went to the Steam list and saw one of the other like very popular hero shooters out, and it's this one called Sternova where it's third person, but your character is like a 2D, like basically like it's not a poster, but it's like that 2D like flatness of the character. It's very interesting, and it makes making trying to get like sniping shots on them, if you just turn sideways, it's almost impossible to get shot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's again super interesting. I don't have time to play it, but yeah, very cool. And for some reason it says sexual content, so I don't know where that's coming from because all I'm seeing is a hero shooter. So I don't like, unless they mean like, oh, the character's wearing a skirt, like maybe I
Oh
guess.
yeah, that reminds me of oh god. Which game was it? There's a lot of gotcha games out there, but there was this one
There's
popular
tons of
gotcha.
them, yeah.
There's this one popular gotcha game. I don't know if it was Triple Z. I don't know if it was Triple Z. I don't know if I think it was Triple Z. Uh,
Yeah,
but
probably.
but there was an incident. There was an incident in the gaming sphere where you weren't allowed to look up girls' skirts anymore. Oh no, there was
Yeah, and then
there
they and then
instead of
they put that out. They put that out, and everybody got so mad. They got so mad that they were like, "We have installed this by mistake," because they literally saw their entire, um, yeah, just literally saw like so. Talking more trash about Blizzard and Activision. So Blizzard did that once. They wanted to hit people who were like hacking in the game. So they found a way to read when somebody was using additional files. And so they were like, okay, just start banning everybody using these additional files. And they had to stop the ban process, the automated ban process, because they hit like 25% of their users, and they're like, hold on, we can't have like, and they weren't even done through the list. They were like, they were only like halfway there, so they were on track to be banning for like 1,000 years. They were on track to ban about 50% of their player base, And so they panicked and they stopped it and they backed it up and they said, okay, what's going on here? Turns out that people who mod the game, it was catching them doing like player side only visual mods. So like changing armor color or creating a high def version of a mount or skins. And there's people who do this all the time on YouTube where they take a mount in the game and they redesign it and they add a whole bunch of these cool effects on it. Very very cool. Love the people who do this. But yeah, it turns out that they were banning half their players, so they immediately backtracked it, reversed all the bans, said sorry, no, this was unintended, blah 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 blah. And then they found a way to like actually track the people who are cheating with it. So yeah, crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. But
Yeah.
anyways, I am. Do we have anything else to chit chat about?
Just one. There was actually a study or research that came out that people like a study that came out with gamers and says, why do gamers play games? Half say mainly to relax, but the other half say just to escape their reality. And I was like, well, that that sounds about right. Real life is boring. I want to go play.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go play as a mage burning uh trolls under a bridge. Like, let's escape reality for a bit. Let's do
Yeah.
something I don't normally do.
So yeah, so I'm looking at this. I think this article is pretty good. So mostly escapist, some challenger, some builder, some competitive, some social. Yeah, yeah. But I think escapism. I think that's a like an overarching thing. At that point, stupid hiccups. I would be if I was running this, I would have removed that as a category because it's like or like put it in a separate category of like how many people play it strictly for escapism or like yeah, because no, I don't think this I think that ate most of the stuff. Hmm. Interesting.
But yeah, I think
Alrighty.
yeah, that's the end of it. That's the last of it so far until something else crazy comes out. Uh,
Give it a week. Give
give
it a week
it.
because this by this time next week we're gonna have more crazy stories to talk about. Oh Lord.
I swear there's
Oh,
like one slow news week and then next week we just get bombarded with all the like, you know, all the
constant
drop
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, all the big news coming out in gaming the next week. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
we're
in good news, I think I have finally come up with a name for the new authors podcast that we're going to be working on.
nice.
The first episode will probably be on here, and then we're going to transition it over to a new channel. We'll have like clips and stuff here, I think. But yeah, really want to uh, kind of get this going, get this rolling. Yeah, so if you're into author stuff, if you're interested in hearing about books, and Ash and I talk about books with guest authors, yeah, let us know because we have some big guests. We have some big guests. So yeah, we're excited for it.
All
Woo.
right. Uh for those of you who don't know, I actually also stream on Twitch during the weekends, like on Friday and Saturday. I've been trying to do it on Thursday, but lately, like IRL stuff has, been keeping me busy. So, yeah, we watch True Crime on Thursdays, and then it's just gaming Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday we do, podcasting on the Triple S League channel. All the
Mm-hmm.
details you can find in the description down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter or X, or join my Discord. I don't know if I linked it, but you can also join my Discord to keep up to date to like anything that's going on in my life. Well, not everything, but if I'm like waylaid and I can't stream that day, I will post and let you guys know. So yeah, if you want to keep up to date to my streaming schedule, make sure to follow me. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you're at. And